is a wonderful island with a treasure trove of unique plants, animals, and people.
That's a knife.
It has to be protected.
Australia is free of many pests and diseases that are commonplace around the world.
That's a sign of aggression. You can see how she's got her mouth slightly ajar. She's got her teeth showing.
Declare everything when you enter Australia.
Got to let you know you're one of my kind.
Jesus. No midnight oil, huh?
Yeah, no.
She jammed a lot in there in 40 seconds. Good job, Sarah.
No Colin Firth. No, what's his name?
Colin Firth.
You know that you talk about Men at Work?
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
it
Colin
works.
Hay.
So-
Colin Hay. Colin Hay.
Colin Hay.
Is this show about
You know.
me? Or
No, it's
something?
really not about you. So let's try starting again, shall we?
All about.
We don't like the new intro. I don't like your music cut down. I like having the long intro with the music just the way it was.
The guitar
I
solo.
don't.
Your guitar
Yeah.
solo
Yeah,
and
I was
everything.
playing air
He
guitar
doesn't.
during that.
He doesn't.
I'm
The
in an
man who's-
event.
All right, I'll
man who's
It
on
would-
one
4
back
out
on.
of 55 shows a year doesn't like his intro. I'm putting the old intro back just so you know.
And it was
Yes.
long enough to run to the kitchen and get coffee and ice. It was the perfect. I timed it. I remember
Not
timing
enough for a quick pee, but it's just
No.
enough to go get some ice water. You're exactly
it.
right.
Not when you get stage fright like I do.
Well, greetings, everybody. Welcome to an edition of Radio Gunk pre-Labor Day. Something Howard knows nothing about.
Yeah, it's an
certainly
oxymoron. I was gonna say.
Beth
Labor.
knows nothing about.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask everybody to try and be kind and gentle conspirators in our Gary show, meaning take a deep breath before we talk over each other. Let us all have a show as if we've been doing this for 6 years, because
Yeah, I
we're
don't do that. So
not talking to
I've
you.
listened back.
Australian
You guys
boy.
don't listen back. I listen back.
Okay. So, yes, you're a good boy. Nobody else is. Okay.
Thank
Dennis
you.
only listens to his parts, Bon.
I listen to your
I'm
parts, and I'm
just
waiting for you to stop.
He starts texting. So, okay, we're going to talk about Gary today just because we had these clips hanging around and we figured, fuck it, we might as well do it.
But are we gonna discuss the horse and the bee?
Babe, of course. That's the
Yeah,
first
do
thing on my
that.
agenda.
Of course it is.
So,
Oh my God, Monique! Thank you, Melvin. Why don't we call you Neek? Dominique Wilkins' nickname was Neek, the Atlanta Hawks small forward who was one of the best dunkers in all time. Why don't we call you Neek? Why don't we do that?
because I've
just
never
Neek.
been called Neek.
Oh, I
And
love that
sounds-
nickname. I haven't heard it
You-
since
you-
Dominique
No, I
Wilkins.
don't like
You
that.
can
I
call
like
me whatever
You
Molly.
can call her Neek.
All right.
I'll call her
Call
Mo.
me Ray J. You can call me whatever you
Mom's the
want. I
best.
don't give a shit. That's fine with me. So we are really, really happy to be here with you guys tonight. And it's a chilly night here in Pennsylvania. And yes, I came up with Dell'bacle.
Very good. I love that.
So I was kind of digging that this morning. And so anyway, Bon-Jovial texted me last week and said, "Hey, you want to do a Gary show next week? Yeah, I've been sitting on these clips that John has sent me, and we have a bunch of good stuff we've never gotten to. So why don't we go ahead and do a show?" So here we are putting on a show on a Thursday night, right before Labor Day. So to segue directly into it, let's talk about somebody who's never known a day of labor in their entire life, and that would be
Ooh.
one
Wow.
Beth Stern. And
Yes.
apparently something really horrific happened to her this week. And
Oh.
so this is a tale of woe in 3 clips. So apparently a couple of days ago, she basically almost died because she stepped on a bee and her foot swelled up to the size of a watermelon because of the bad infection. So she then proceeds to show us a picture of her getting an IV drip. So she says, "I'm getting an IV drip now and have to come back again tomorrow." So 2, not 1, but 2 IV drips for little Bessie. Had to come back again tomorrow. All I can think about Can I do it in a bit?
All I can think about is the poor bees who is having her day pollinating and got stepped on by a giant person with a size 12 foot and will now die. Bees die after they lose their stinger. Life isn't fair sometimes. So,
Fucking retard.
so there's Beth with her mask that legitimately looks like something out of like what was the foe, the arch enemy in Batman?
Bane. It's Bane.
Well,
It's
that's
Bane.
the Christopher Nolan Bane mask.
She looks
Wait,
like
all
Bane.
the Photoshop guys out there, start making Beth as Bane, please.
That's what she is. So of course she dressed in her cutest little denim frock to go over to the doctor's office and get IV. So that was picture number 1, where I'm telling you first off, our comments were brutal, but the ones on her Instagram were like, oh my God, Beth, I'm so worried about you. I hope everything's okay. I'm praying for you. And I was stung by a bee once too, and I had to go into the hospital. It's really, really horrible. I just hope you're not allergic to them because the bees are so important in our world. And you are such a caring and loving person. And we thank you so much for making sure that it's so important that you take care of the bees. Go fuck yourself anally with a giant
Oh
fucking
my
rubber
God.
fist.
I literally have like agitation in my stomach.
That's why I don't read those comments because it literally makes me angry. I mean, seriously angry.
It is a collective Marianne from Brooklyn, and just when you think humanity can't get any stupider.
Right. So it just gets worse. So here we go. Let's go to clip number 2. So then on her Instagram with the giant semi-wonk, right? She says, back in the IV drip chair at the doctor.
Gosh, I guess I'm really allergic to bees. My husband advised me not to post a picture of my foot. It's really grotesquely swollen with huge blisters. Not pretty, not fun. But I still love bees. Hashtag proud new EpiPen carrier. Okay. So our girl who wore her Bane mask yesterday because clearly her husband must have made sure that she would wear her friggin' mask to walk out of the house. And this one, I think she just got finished giving somebody kittens without a mask and then goes to get her IV drip and puts on the paper mask.
The kitten dump? Yeah.
Right. She did a kitten dump and then got the shitty paper mask that the doctor provided for her so that she could take her half a face picture with one eyeball. So that's that. So
it's green eye.
Right.
You guys have to wear the masks nationally still.
No, we
Well, in
don't.
the
We
doctor's
live in a
office,
free country.
Then
Well, at least
why
I
are
live in
we-
a free state.
No, in the doctor's office
Sounded
you
like-
do.
Not
okay.
here.
Okay,
Oh, in
fair
New York I had to
Yeah.
still
In
wear
Florida,
it.
no, it's
Yeah,
gone.
well, monkeypox and all that. So,
Southampton has its own mask laws instituted by George Stephanopoulos.
and Howard.
And
And
Howard.
Howard. Exactly. Okay, so that was picture number 2. So, people are saying, "Oh my God, how is she not showing us a picture of this horrible, disgustingly inflated football of a foot with monstrous blisters on it?
Blisters.
We need this. We need to see it. We need the proof. God damn it, we need proof." And of course, Dennis provided because here. Okay, now, this is not for the faint of heart, and I'm going to warn you all that it is quite possibly the most horrific aftermath of a bee sting I think I've ever seen. Don't you agree, Dennis?
I'm not gonna.
Oh,
look.
absolutely.
I'm
That
not
looks
gonna
horrible.
look.
All right, here we go, everybody. If you want to shut down now, I don't blame you, but I'm just going to play it. Look at that.
I mean, there is absolutely no difference in that foot.
I'm not looking.
You're kidding? You're not looking?
I'm really not looking. I looked. I saw the thread about it, but I didn't see a bee picture. I don't
Monsoon,
know
how
if
horrible it
it's
is.
a foot or something.
Fun.
Even her-
Did you not see how horrible that was?
No, I'm not looking.
It's
I'm just looking
disgusting.
I'm looking at my drops.
It has the
with-
same cankles it had
something
before.
Yeah.
There's no change. It
It-
looks like she
Oh.
put on like a half a bandage. She put a little piece
Yeah.
of tape over it.
Oh, I'm
And then it
looking
was
now.
like-
Then I thought you meant it was.
Oh no, it
okay.
isn't. It's
No, I was
far from it.
kidding, silly Billy. I was kidding.
I
You're
am
using
familiar with sarcasm.
Yeah, good work, Johnny. Oh, I got that.
Exactly.
Even her feet are anorexic. Look at
Oh
this.
God, she's just.
It does have cankles though.
It
Oh no,
does.
that's not going away. She got the
Those
Pittsburgh
aren't going away.
Cowboys.
So yeah, thank God, and we all are grateful that Beth did not have to get her foot excised off, and that she'll be okay. I'm pretty sure Howard's going to mention this if and when he comes back.
It's
to work.
gonna be hours. So
The
Dorian Morgan.
sarcasm.
Yeah.
Dorian Morgan, did she spray tan her leg for the video?
Oh yes, God yes,
it did.
Dorian.
Absolutely, it did.
God yes.
Are you guys
Photoshopped
in-
eye too. Somebody
She
said up
lives
front.
in the Hamptons. She does nothing.
Nothing.
all
Stop being impressed by her staying in shape
day.
and looking good for her age. Stop being impressed by that.
She tans literally just by walking. I mean, she does nothing. So, and you saw the picture of her by the washing machines, which was just a beauty. I think I put that on last week's show.
Chick makes George Hamilton look like powder, for Christ's sake.
I know somebody picked on me for being tan today on Instagram too, but this is unnatural tan for a blonde. She shouldn't be that tan for her.
No, that's a spray tan. That's out of
For
a
her
bottle.
body type. I don't know. I think she's around the pool all fucking day. I mean, really, what does she do?
It's obscene.
Thank you, Tonecut 89. I knew a girl who got stung by a bee on a golf course. It was between the first and second hole. The coach said it was that's horrible.
Isn't that the taint?
We have to figure out what staff member's parent died so Howard can skip the funeral, because this sounds like a Beth stunt.
His
This is
own.
right. Yeah. Well, it could be Ben's. It could be Ben's. It could be Ben's. That's right.
His own parent died. Exactly. Right. So I don't know what actually we're going for today's show. I do have a list of our different Gary stuff and what we are going to be talking about. But I sort of didn't want to be in control of today's show until Mr. Cranky Man from Down Under came on and said, "Hey, you download all the clips that I spent all my time and effort on, because I might have to leave at some point during the show."
Stop it! Stop it!
Was that Jonah Falcon?
Oh, you are amazing, John.
Wow.
Well done.
Remember that guy, Dennis?
Oh my God, I do.
The big penis guy who actually never showed his penis?
Talking Yankees, yes.
Those
big
prank
penis guy
calls that Sal and Richard did to him, just absolutely, and they're real. They're not fake. People say they're fake. All that crap's fake. That's so real, and he was outstanding.
I don't. All right. So, what is our show today? Can Bon? Can you take over just for a few minutes and tell
I'm
us what's going
cranky
on?
because I've got allergies, and the hot water went out like a couple of hours ago here, so a plumber's coming in a few hours. So all this crazy shit happened, and I said to him at the Moniki, I'll put up all the clips just in case the doorbell rings and I have to go. So they're coming in an hour, not an hour, but they're coming in, the 4-hour window they give you.
4-hour window means it comes in 4 hours.
Yeah, so I'm not worried. I just put them up, and you're chastising me for that. Can everyone in the chat get together on this and fight her?
No, don't fight me. Don't fight me. I had to download
you have
them.
bad plumbing?
I had to then put them
All you
into
had to do was press download. You can just download the folder and leave it on your desktop.
Who spent 2 days making them?
Yeah, or more than 2, John.
Might have been more.
I know. I said that before you came on, John. I said I put together the whole goddamn episode of editing this crazy shit.
Is there a little violin that you want me to play for the 3 second shows we do a week where I cut fucking clips?
I got a skin flute you can play, honey.
I heard you. I heard that.
Demarcating her hair by her bra strap. Life crisis.
Shinlu Hu, give Bon-Jovial a break. Everything's backwards down there.
That's
right.
Okay.
Just the sound of his whiny, Australian, patronising, obnoxious voice makes me feel sick. I hate him and I can't be around him. I actually just wish he'd off back to Australia.
Wow. So you're actually doing your own trope clips.
That's from. I started watching Canada Big Brother, and it's awesome. And they had an Australian guy who won our Australian Big Brother on it, and it was amazing. If anyone's ever watched the Canada Big Brothers,
why did you watch the American Big Brother?
That was a girl on that.
Only Gary Puppet looking for nudity.
Exactly.
I love Big Brother so much.
I've never watched that in my life, actually. But okay. Yes, Bond's clips are everything. All right, we'll give him some credit. Yes,
love
they
it.
are. Oh, hey, Seatbelt. I was really concerned that we weren't on Twitch because I was getting like a rejection notice when I tried to log in before. So I'm glad to see that you were there. So thank you for participating in tonight's show. All right, so Bond, the floor is yours. Where do you want to get started? What do you want to do?
Well, John can intro this because this is and I'll just say some of these clips John has
I'm not
used
looking
these
at
in
it.
the cleaning out the computers over the time. So we've all heard some of them before, and some of the classic fights we've all heard. So this is just to have it all on the record about Gary and John. Let's talk about Lewis the Board Op,
Oh, God.
2003. This is Gary. So, and all of these are under the Gary entitlement and the elitist Gary. And this is
Bond.
This must have been an episode where everybody came in and shat on each other, and Gary copped it from this sound engineer, the board operator, Lewis. John, go for it.
Stuttering John got Lewis the board op to talk shit about Gary. And it was a game they played where you anonymously had to figure out who was talking shit about the person. So they would play an anonymous quote, and then the person would reveal themselves. And Lewis was a guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis. Maybe it's you, and I don't know, Monique. If you, Lewis had not been on the air, I don't think, ever up until that point. I don't think.
No.
And I didn't really know who his last name is. Louis Castillo. Casey says he's a great guy. He's like just completely walking at a higher level than the rest of the staff, like true fucking, just super duper dude. And I've only heard him on the air 3 times maybe in the history of the show.
Yeah, he was not trying to be an on-air personality. He was a board op, and
was a board op.
They only dragged him in a few times, and every time it was cringeworthy.
And he
I
just
thought he
was
was
singing.
good.
No,
Well, I
he was-
mean,
Let's play the
He
clip.
was good.
Yeah, and so he comes in and just gives Gary an ultimate serve, and he's very eloquent. Here he is.
Louis,
Gary, I know.
how come you don't like Gary? Gee, I'm shocked. This is great.
Wow.
Are you upset at all, Gary?
I'm a little weirded out. I was expecting
Scott the engineer again.
there's a myriad of reasons. I think he's rude. I think he's inconsiderate. I think he's incredibly forgetful. I think he has a tendency to, in a professional sense, make up conversations that never happened and conveniently forget conversations that actually did happen.
I agree with that.
I don't think maybe he's aware of it. I mean, try and say hello to the guy. He'll look at you and won't
I'm
say
out a
anything.
second.
Keeps walking.
Who's
Now,
saying
maybe-
what? Like, I don't know which voices I'm hearing right now.
That's
truncated.
Lewis the board op saying.
Are both of those voices Lewis, or is that Gary talking back to Lewis?
That's Lewis right now talking about Gary, how he won't say hello to him and all that. That's
Okay.
Beautiful stuff.
Sorry, continue. Sorry.
Just basic.
Maybe it's just because you're incapable.
Go, John.
I was gonna say just
up a
basic
little bit.
office etiquette, Monique. He's like Lewis is going. You can't even say hello to the guy. You come in and it's just like he's always looking past you, and it's all the things
Do you
we've
say
confirmed
that
hearing about
I know,
Gary.
but do you say that about somebody who's your boss? Like
It
on
was a
air?
game they played. Bond didn't play the setup is the game. It was a game they were playing.
Yeah,
so the
came
game
in
is
to
to
shit
throw
on
them-
each other.
Yeah, to shit
Yeah.
on each other.
Gotcha. Okay.
He'll look at you and won't say anything. Keeps walking. Now, maybe it's just because you're incapable of actually, showing some appreciation to someone or showing someone that,
You're saying you say hello to him and he goes.
and he looks at you like this and keeps walking.
Yeah, that would be consistent with what everybody would say here, Lewis.
Absolutely.
I ignore everybody. I mean to everybody. You're a really wacky dude.
No.
You're
Yeah, I love that.
You're a really
strange
wacky
man.
dude.
Gary couldn't figure out a way to come back at him, and he goes, Lewis, you were really, really wacky dude, because he knew he was right, and you could hear the tremor in his voice because it was. We've heard that, Monique, from Grillo and John and everybody. Richie Wilson, it's the same thing over. Gary makes up stories conveniently to elevate himself to Howard and whoever to make to.
Oh,
be
it's so
reduct-
true. I mean, you talk about somebody who has fallen upwards his entire career.
Oh.
It's Gary.
Gary is the only person besides Robin that is the luckiest human on God's green earth. I
Absolutely.
mean, he would be working like Tulsa, Oklahoma right now.
Well,
if he didn't glob onto.
I was
Howard.
thinking about this the other day.
Maybe
There's
he didn't
sightings of Gary goes to
Maybe.
Kimmel all the time during these huge breaks. So 2 weeks he goes, and I believe he tried to get a job. I'm positive he tried to get a job at Kimmel, and then Kimmel turned him down and said, I'm not going to be the next Leno and Stuttering John. No thanks. I guarantee you, Gary thought he was TV friendly, has gone to Kimmel several times to try to get out of there. John said that his wife, Mary Dell'Abate, was got Gary on the phone and said, John, I can't. You got out of there. I want Gary to get out of there so bad. I can't. I'm tired of him working on the show. So I guarantee you, he's tried with Kimmel and he shot him down. Guaranteed.
I don't know if he'd do
I don't
that.
know that he would touch that. Knowing
No, I don't
his
think
friendship.
Kimmel would touch it. I don't think Kimmel would touch it.
Howard and Kimmel are like this.
Yeah, I don't know that he would touch that.
That's not a good idea. He's not that stupid.
You might as well go to like, Conan when he was still on, for God's sakes. I mean, the Kimmel Howard thing is probably the one place I wouldn't think Gary would go and try to get a job, like at all. All right, is there more to that clip on?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But that's great Gary moment there. Gary saying that he's wacky. That's like the kiss of death. Like in Gary's mind, that guy's nothing now because of how much Gary loves himself.
All right, go for it.
Really wacky dude.
No.
You're a very, very strange man.
But you weren't going to attack me.
No, and it's great that you and John have teamed up together, because John found the one person here who's a little bit off and figured out that I'm some.
I don't feel he's off. Give me an example of him making up conversations.
There'll be a lot of times where I'll need Gary to, in order for me to get my work done, I'll need him to deliver something by a certain point. And I've let him know that on numerous occasions, and he'll just give me a blank stare in terms of, well, I didn't know that that you needed that so soon. I didn't know that you needed me to do this. I didn't know that you needed this. So,
I didn't realize it was going to come from somebody who I thought I'd been pretty nice to, and really,
but that's the problem.
I could never say that I've been nice to him, because
maybe I shouldn't fault you, because maybe you're not aware of how actually inconsiderate you're being to other people.
Do you have conversations with a lot of other people that feel the same way, or do you think that it's just
but I'm not going to name any names.
But do you think I'm singling you out, or do you think
no, absolutely not.
You think that you don't think I'm singling you out? You think I'm just rude in general?
I think to a lot of people you have a tendency to be rude. Yeah.
Sometimes you speak to Gary and Gary doesn't speak back. I will say that happens.
First of all, I don't know why you're saying I'm in cahoots with him and Gary. Which
well,
is,
no, I think that you're the one who rooted him out. You're the one who found him, got him to say.
No, I'm sorry. You're wrong. I didn't find him out. He came up to me. Okay? He pulled me aside. There are people here who also could attest to Gary making up conversations or forgetting
conversations. How do you know about all this?
You do make up conversations. Like, you think you tell, like, people things that you don't. I've been witness to that a number of times. I mean, you're acting like...
No, I've had that with Gary where he says, don't you remember we talked about this? And I'll say, I swear to you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like he remembers your responses that never happened.
Yeah, I don't...
Monique.
Yes.
I've been having a hard... Color me autistic. I've been having a really hard time. I actually went over this with my psychologist last week. The definition of gaslighting is irritating me to a degree. I think I've heard 15 definitions of it. Is that what gaslighting is? What they just described?
Basically, gaslighting is like if you say something to me and then I come up with a completely alternate reality fact to make you believe that this is what the reality is. Like, does that make sense? Like,
yeah. So is that what he just described with Gary?
Yes.
Yeah. He does.
All right.
Gary
I think
does
I got
gaslight
it now.
people.
I've heard 30 different definitions of it. I can't get it straight.
It's like
it's the most
gaslighting is
overused
trying to
phrase.
convince somebody that they're crazy, and so you just, you convince them that their reality is so skewed and so fucked up that they're wrong.
Okay.
It's a common practice. It's one of those things that if you're smart enough to like actually follow, and Gary is not.
No, Gary's far from that.
High number. I agree more. We need a better word. Gaslighting. It doesn't capture what the. I couldn't agree more. That's why I'm so gaslit by it.
It's a pretty
You're
good term.
I don't
by it.
I don't like it either.
All right, is there more to this clip? Because I'm like zoning.
No, that's done.
Oh, thank God.
Now,
Okay.
got,
Yeah, but Lewis is Gary's biggest nightmare because he's so well spoken, he's so articulate, and he so has his receipts, and he could reference it. And Gary, I don't know if I've heard him that rattled by an underling to that TEDx. Yeah, by the way, in the chat, we have played a lot of the stuff you're referencing. You have to go back to parts 1 and 2 because we did cover a lot of that. We did a ton
we're
of stuff.
trying to do it in
This is new.
chronological order.
Yep.
This is like 2003 onwards.
All right, so what do you got next?
We've got.
Was that just clip 1?
This is a John. This is a John clip. Gary uses Howard TV to say that Howard's hair is fake, and Monique, you're playing this audio.
What am I doing?
What are we laughing at, guys? What are we
Okay, so you didn't listen to a word I just said, did
I
you?
just
Either
notated
of
that
you?
was clip 1. It's
That was
9:30.
clip 1, and we're going to talk about hair, and that is Howard Stern's
Yeah,
staff.
so
thinks
this
Howard
is
Stern
very much believes this, and Gary very much is an author of this theory, but he's blaming Howard TV for him thinking Howard's hair is fake, so he dumps it on Howard TV when we all know Gary believes this.
Okay, here we go.
And this has been scrubbed, this clip. This is very
I
rare.
mean, it's just going to be endless. Go ahead.
I got to ask this question
Oh, boy.
before we move ahead. I got to ask this question because I was just talking to the E guys or the in-demand guys who have probably looked at you more than anybody.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you a direct question.
Go ahead.
And here's an opportunity, if it's true, to really.
I swear to God, I will answer it.
Okay. Have you had anything done in any way involving your hair?
Absolutely not. I swear on the life of my
Nothing.
children.
Did
Nothing.
he say that before with his nose?
What did you think I? No,
They-
I swore on the life of my children.
They seem to think that something went on with your hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what? Like a hair transplant?
Well, I guess they said that you guys that
You
you
were
used
right to that.
I don't even color my hair.
and it was sort of high, and then that went away, and then suddenly you had more hair or something.
I swear to you, and Robin, I swear I have not done anything with
To
my
the
hair.
world, and
I
the only
haven't
way.
even colored it. You can see gray.
Can we believe anything you say at this point?
I'll be quiet.
You lie to us so often.
You used to have a
You're
part
lying
in
with
your
your
hair.
I had a part in my
You-
hair.
Hey, Gage, come in and help explain this.
Come pull on my hair. I don't care.
I mean, Gage, you.
But did he actually let somebody come pull in his hair?
No, of course not.
Get a good one.
Robin doesn't believe him.
No, it's the same lie.
Okay, Bob.
Oh.
Robin's calling him a liar.
You believe that you didn't have the low flow.
Now it's good. So I mean that's my point. I didn't want to get started.
Now it's good because now we're going to say you have fake hair.
I know, and that sucks. I got my own hair, you broke bastard, Ganji.
It was actually DePace.
Bro, what?
It was actually DePace that brought this up, but I'll tell you what the story was.
Pace is jealous.
He said there was a time where you had a part in the middle of your hair,
Yes.
and that Tony used to do something to fix it.
She used to color it.
Yeah,
She used to glue more
and
hair
that,
on.
and that since that maybe 6 months to a
No,
year, and
what,
then
it
all
didn't go.
of a
It
sudden
went on for a
miraculously
month.
fixed
Here's what happened.
itself.
It went on for a month.
It fixed itself.
I said, I am not gonna. I said, I have a full head of hair. I am not gonna sit there and scratch my head and get black all over my fingers. I said, don't do that anymore. Now, it might be your perception that I.
So then what'd she do? What'd she do? If you told her not to do that anymore, what did she
What
do?
did you
How
do?
did it
He never
change?
explains it.
Away. So what's the alternative there? Let's hear the rest.
I've done something, but I haven't.
Can you bring that up more, Mom?
Is fix that hideous hump in my nose and the
How can we
liposuction under my
believe you?
chin.
You have so betrayed us over the years.
Oh, I
with
hate
all
you
these
so
lies.
much. I used to really love you, and I don't.
Wow.
I loved you yesterday.
Yeah,
I want
yesterday
it
we
back.
were in love.
I don't love you anymore.
We gotta
I'll be
move
honest
ahead.
with you. I'm not in love with you anymore.
You don't like the
You
show,
gotta
so
go to the
let's
next
clean up some.
Monique, I don't want to gas your head up, but speaking of gassing, Kathleen Conway gave you a great compliment there about explaining gaslighting to the humanoids. You always want Kathleen Conway's approval.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, you know, it's
And
just one of those
kudos.
things you know
It's
it when
used a lot
somebody else
now.
when you're wise to it, then you kind of get it. Like it just it's kind of like when I figured out every kiss begins with K, and I had no idea that. I was like, oh, K, got it. And so once you get it, it's like you know it when you see it. So it's one of those things where you just have to kind of, listen for the telltale signs of it, and it's just like, oh, motherfucker's trying to gaslight me right now, aren't you? Yeah.
Now,
felt like
You know,
that.
every
I like how Howard goes, I don't dye my hair because that's not your hair, so it's
Yeah,
dyed.
it's
I mean, he is technically right. I mean, probably underneath is probably gray, what's left.
Yeah.
But yeah, that stuff on his head, it's dyed, but it's not his. So it's
I wonder if
clip that
Gary
has been
got like
scrubbed.
tons of shit for that after that happened.
Oh, it's been
God.
scrubbed big time. That you can't find that anymore.
Could you?
That's
could
an
you
original.
Imagine? Could you imagine the meeting afterwards? I mean, Howard had to lose his shit.
Well, you could hear it. He's on his heels and he's trembling. And you bring the life of my kids is an instant lie that is a direct admission to it. Life
doesn't
of
care
my
about the
kids
life of
is
his
the
kids.
ultimate. I'm lying, and right, as if you can't have a Cat Conway's endorsement is the most important thing we care about here.
All right, what are we on to next?
Yay! Clip 3.
Thank you, Monique. You got the
There's
gaslighting
the-
chart up.
There's the. Oh, I did that.
No,
But,
Ron did
Oh,
that.
that's Bon?
Yeah.
making you
Because Bon sent me all his
reality.
clips, so now he has all the luxury of time to put up gaslighting memes.
You're
for
trying
us.
to
I think that's a
gaslight me
Australian
now and
site.
the audience by saying that. That's distorting reality.
Oh, wait, behavior is spelled normal, so it's not from Australia.
Exactly.
Gee.
All right. So I think that we're going off to clip number 3, which is a Gary Roast clip.
Yeah, this is I felt we played some stuff from the roast already, and I felt this was R.I.P. Greg Giraldo, one of the more underrated.
Mhm.
Agreed.
He would thrive so much in today's landscape of YouTube, kind of comedians having their own YouTube podcasts and stuff, and he missed that, unfortunately. Just a really, really cerebral, great roasting comedian, and he did I thought his Gary roast was probably the best one amongst that, and then Gary's roast is after that.
Okay, Bon, are you playing this or am I?
We were going to a different one.
Greg
but we'll go
Giraldo
to
makes
that
a
one.
cerebral special ed special needs joke. It's my
Here we
favorite
go.
special needs joke in history.
Oh, I don't know if that special needs joke's in there. I might have edited it.
Oh,
Here-
don't tell
here we
me
go.
you edited it, you
Oh,
motherfucker.
here we, it might
That's
be.
my
Here we
favorite.
go. Here we go.
The
Here we go.
punchline.
If your dead father was lying here.
Oh, you.
Gary, I wouldn't have missed this for the world, and the only way Howard would have missed it is if your dead father was lying here. Is that too much? Gary was molested as a kid by his male babysitter, and there's no shame in that, but it's embarrassing that you believed the guy when he said if you played with your balls, your teeth would shrink. Usually when I see someone who looks like you, he's being walked to the playground by his 90-year-old mother.
That's it.
Oh.
That was a good one.
That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, you, Bon. That's
Seriously, how the fuck did you become successful? You got to be the one homeowner in Greenwich whose only skills are Mets trivia and flossing with a jump rope. Of all the no talent hangers on in radio, you have the most fucked up face. All right, that's
Nice, Bon. Nice. Very
Now,
good.
That's only a third of it.
John, we've got Monique. You've got 2.5. Pat Cooper invading.
Ooh.
Well, you're not going to play
Wrap-up show.
Gary's roast back in the same right after that.
Oh yeah, I can.
We got
but
to give him
we missed
equal
that.
time.
We missed that clip though.
What do you
Who
mean you
missed
missed
that
it?
clip? It's number 4 on my list.
No, but we
I thought
missed
Gary did a really good
2.5.
job roasting everyone back, and
John's clip was.
It doesn't matter. Let's just go.
I
for
know
it.
it doesn't. Oh.
I'm just here.
Hello, Bon-Jovial.
Oh, I'm
Super
getting to it.
Okay,
here we go.
Bon-Jovial thought he had a Super Mario.
Because I'm not a comedian, and you guys are very funny, and that's not a joke. So, do I have to do this? As a producer of the Howard Stern Show, I've worked with some of the best entertainers in the country, as well as all of you untalented cocksuckers here. Hey, there's Bob Levy. Funny thing, you forgot to show up to your son's birthday party. You didn't forget to fucking come here. Bob, I don't want to say your face is leathery, but there's a group from PETA downstairs protesting your fucking mugshot.
So he didn't write this, did he?
No.
We
The
know.
people laughing the hardest are the ones who wrote it. So it's
You know,
probably
that
Shuley
has
and
a stench.
in the back.
That
I
has
think
the stench of
Sal-
Shuley. That has the stench of Shuley on
I
it.
think Sal and Artie wrote it for him.
And surely must have got there at like 4 a.m. to position himself in that seat.
Was this done at, guys? Was this done at night? Because I know the Artie one was. I can't remember if this was.
It was
done at
after
night.
work. It was like 6 o'clock or something.
Okay,
like
yeah.
Greg Fitzsimmons. How are you, Greg? Good to see you. You know, Artie asked Greg if he could work with him at Carnegie Hall, and Artie said yes. Greg, don't forget, first hand out the program, then bring them to the seat. Geraldo, I have a great joke about you, but I'm not going to even bother telling it because nobody knows who the fuck you are.
So fast.
Now, John and Dennis, I mean, did people know who he was back then?
Yeah,
I knew who Greg Giraldo is.
Yeah. So why is he saying that? Like that's
Because he's Gary.
He's somewhat obscure. I'm not going to say he's a household name. You had to be a comedy
but-
nerd to know who he was.
He'd be back then. Was he Nick DiPaolo sort of?
Yeah, he was on
Yeah.
Roast. He was a liberal Nick DiPaolo. He was on Roast. He was on Tough
He
Crowd.
was
He had
fairly
done
popular.
Howard Show a few times. He was not. He wasn't a household name though.
But he
Bon,
was
you're right.
popular. I mean, you would know Greg Giraldo. I mean, he
But,
was,
yeah,
especially
it's-
there was Comedy Central. He'd be on there a lot. So
yeah, he
take-
was a little bit.
They take
Yeah, so
cheap
it's-
shots in these things, so it's
But
not
it's
that.
just
Gary's
so
not
lazy.
By
Gary's,
the way, Gary's horrible at this.
Oh, he's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, he would have been terrified though. He's not built for this.
He looks like
My
a
good friend,
chimpanzee
you
there.
killed me today. I know you're very defensive about your act. I've seen it. Let me tell you something. It stinks worse than your fucking body odor. You and the act need to both take a shower. There's Jackie looking older than ever. How you doing, Jackie? His face has more lines on it than Artie's coffee table.
Yeah, Jackie looks better today than he does there, by the way.
What?
Jackie
Really?
looks better today than he does there.
I agree.
No.
He's got that hair down, it's like that weird, odd, too old for long hair.
I can't tell if Jackie looks good or bad for his age. I could never tell. Jackie's 74 now? 74, 75? Gonna be 75?
He's so cute. He just sent me. He's so cute. He just sent me.
An invitation to Jokeland?
Yeah, exactly.
And you can thank me for being the conduit for the for brokering that again.
He just sent me $2. He asked me,
Wait. Are you going back to Jokeland soon, Mon?
It says Monique, don't stare. Love Jackie. And then the
Is it
other
his
one.
joke book or the biography?
And then I got Joke Man, bow to stern.
Oh, well.
And he wrote, Monique, enjoy, love Jackie. Yeah, he just mailed these to me. I just got them the other day. As a matter of absolute fact. What were we talking about? Oh, Jackie.
Jackie, you left the show because you didn't want to wake up early anymore. And now that you're well rested, what the fuck were you thinking? Artie, great for you to show up today. You must think it's an important roast. You're wearing your formal pajama bottoms. Colin Quinn's here. Colin's got a new TV show called Armcast because it's only going to be on for 2 months.
Where is Colin?
Sal, here we go.
I don't know.
Even though Sal fights with his wife, he looks forward to makeup sex. That's when he puts on makeup and has sex with Richard Christie.
Wow, that was bad. That was really
And you edited these clips. Yeah, Bun?
Oof.
Oh, but it's highlighting.
Oof, that was
badness.
terrible. Christ.
None of these clips are good. It's like doing a Shuley show. Nothing's good. It's bad.
Jesus Christ.
Says Jackie's trying to clear out his house before he goes.
Here's a riddle for Sal. What's the difference between Sal's front door and Lisa Lampanelli's vagina? Only one of them lets black people in.
Gee, it was a different time then, wasn't it?
The Daniel Carver roast got a thread today, right, on Gunk. The crazy Daniel Carver roast, which
I
we could
saw
never
that
do
too.
on this. It was
And
insane.
they were right. The people that comment, he just derailed it by being awfully horrible. You couldn't make a comeback to him. He was being so racist.
Yeah, Howard couldn't wait to get the Daniel Carver roast. Howard and Gary convinced themselves how great that was going to be, where you just kept repeating the same "you're a racist bumpkin hick" over and over again, and
Yeah,
they
horrible.
brought him up
Once
as
they
the
started to go off of the core group of people,
Yeah.
it was horrible. Like
well,
just
as soon as the
went
Buckwall
downhill.
clients are next, they stopped it. Is that a
Yeah.
coincidence? I think not.
No.
All right, continue, Bon.
You were a stockbroker, you lost that job, then you started working here, and you're always doing shit that almost gets you fired. If you were any better at fucking up a career, you'd be Jackie's manager. And Lisa Lampanelli, she made a special trip to come in here. When a black guy fucks Lisa, he's breaking a sexual taboo. Bestiality. Lisa, they call you the female Don Rickles, but that's not true because there's still people who want to fuck Don Rickles. And to all the comedians sitting up here, did you guys forget that I booked the fucking show? Don't be surprised if your appearances on the show dry up quicker than Penny Crone's cunt. Thank you.
So that one there, Gary may have written.
Yeah, Tone Cott. The Chevy Chase
Threatening.
roast is on the level of Daniel Carver. That's Comedy Central one. That's a crazy. If you get a chance, watch the Chevy Chase roast on Comedy Central.
There's not a chance that I'll get a chance to watch.
Oh,
it.
you should watch
I'm
it.
not gonna. I like myself too much. I'm not gonna do that.
Exactly.
No.
Okay, that was horrible. So did you want me to go back to I missed out on 2.3
Yeah.
and 2.4, didn't I?
2.3
we
and
did-
2.4.
We did that. We're just doing that one. John, do you want to intro
Pat,
the
you talking about Pat Cooper?
invading
Yeah,
wrap-up?
so they're doing. This is the beginning. This is like a month into Sirius. They're on the wrap-up show. Pat Cooper is banned from Howard's show, and I think he's doing Opie and Anthony this particular day. He passes by their, what do they call it, fishbowl.
Yep.
It's outside and he ambushes the wrap-up show and starts screaming about Howard. And he gets into an argument with Gary about booking the show, and Pat's banned from the show,
I
and
love
why. And Gary's making shit up, and again making things up Pat never said.
I don't think Pat's long for this world, by the way.
Pat is 92. I did the math when I
I
listened to
won't
this.
be surprised if we hear that. And I think that I'm going to call it right now. I think that Pat Cooper and Tony Bennett are probably going to go within the same month. That's my
Wow, that's a bold call.
and Henry Kissinger, all three.
Two guineas, Dennis.
I know.
All right,
It's not good.
At your social club on Tuesday.
All right, here we go.
He's got. We have a very special guest who just joined us. He's got.
Because you turn around.
Everything.
I never hurt you. I never hurt you.
Well, come sit down and talk on mic, Pat.
And you skull back.
Pat Cooper, people.
I don't give a goddamn who I am.
How you doing, Pat? Good to see you. Very good to see you.
Let me tell you something. Anybody can be tough when they got the microphone and I can't answer. No.
By the way, there's no way something like this would ever happen today. Like
Oh,
everybody's
no, exactly right.
so regimented, and nobody's in the office. But still, this is something that would never ever, no spontaneity or just.
I got the
out of the blue.
microphone, and I'm going to tell Howard Stern he's full of shit. Let's start with that. He turns around and says, I can't handle fame. I left the Howard Stern show because Howard Stern made an ass of himself when he started fighting with Opie and Anthony. And when he makes Opie and Anthony become big kids, beat his ass in, I said, it's time for me to go away. Because Opie and Anthony, he made them millionaires. You know what Howard made me? $35 a week. That's the fucking difference. People who help them, he don't help. But he helps fucking Opie and Anthony.
But I don't understand.
Gary, I never heard from you.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Because he's telling everybody I left because I can't handle fame. That's bullshit.
No, that's not true. That's not what he said.
ever said.
No, he never said that.
He said it a couple of weeks ago. Don't tell me.
That he said that that's one aspect of your personality is that you can't handle fame, but that's not why you left the show.
Let me explain something. I left the show not in anger. I don't hate nobody. What aggravates me. No, what
Pat, you said some
aggravates
pretty
me,
brutal
I
things about
left
Howard
this-
and his family.
Where's Howard? What? Where are we? On the
Pat
wrap-
is
This is the
banned from
wrap-up
the
show.
show, and Howard's doing his Gara Huckabee damage control, trying to defend Howard's lies, and Pat's calling him on. Pat's coming from another show, and he ambushes the wrap-up show, screaming. He's not allowed on the Stern show, and he starts an argument about Gary,
It's
about
depressing
talking
what he
shit
said.
back. And
It
it's
was
very
true, though.
depressing.
It's all true. I mean,
It's all true. It's always true with Pat.
Pat
He's
always
76
speaks
here.
What
He's
did he say?
76. He turns.
$35 he got paid.
Yes,
to come
35
back.
bucks.
Oh, man.
But he's exaggerating because basically Stern really never helped him worth a damn. I mean, he
Yeah,
really
he
didn't.
paid him
He
in
had him
plugs.
on there.
He paid him in plugs.
Exactly.
That's
Paid him
it.
in plugs because he brought him content that was just phenomenal
Stellar.
content.
Yeah, to this
Phenomenal.
day, some of the
And
best
like
moments
anybody
ever.
else, there's no expectation of pay. In Howard's
isn't
mind,
about
it
pay.
will always be you need me more than I need you. Period. End of story. So look at Jackie. I mean, Jackie took half the salary he should have so that he could get the balance of it in clips in plugs. And that's literally the wig pro quo that we talk about all the time. that this
But
is
you
something
say
she-
Jackie, it was Jackie who got Pat on the show. Pat had to, Jackie had to sell Pat to Howard to get him on the show. So and it turned out to be some of the best stuff ever in the history of the show, from Billy West goofing on him to all the arguments Pat's been in. Truly, one of my top 3 favorite people.
Absolutely, I agree.
No, I left.
But you said some very mean things about Howard and his
No,
daughters.
I never. That's a
You
lie.
sure you
We
did?
have tape. That's a lie.
But you did.
No, I never said a word after I left.
You said, in fact, the exact quote, serious, Pat, it was something like, Howard's daughter should go to his house and get a megaphone and yell that their father's a scumbag.
Never said that.
That's true.
Wait a minute. On my grandkids.
Do you remember saying anything?
Wait a minute. On my grandkids.
Okay.
I would never mention his daughter.
But you did mention his daughters.
No. What I said about his daughter years ago, I said, I hope your daughter marries Kinniston. That was the joke.
No. It was
I never
not.
said bullshit. No, that's bullshit. I'll stand by my word. You show me that on fucking tape. I never said that.
You know what?
That's disgusting.
I will try to find it for you,
That's
Pat.
disgusting. I would never
We
say
thought so
that.
too. That's why we.
What did I get to do with his daughter? A bag of horse
Well,
shit.
no, you felt that his daughter
What is
should.
that all about?
No, you felt that his daughter should be
That's
ashamed of
bullshit.
him. No,
That's bullshit. I never would say that about a person's daughter. What the fuck, you sick?
I didn't say it.
Well, then, all right, let me tell you.
All right, but anyway, how
take
you
the tape.
Okay,
You show me that I said that.
I don't have it.
I had to be fucking dead or drunk, but I would never say it, Gary. Here's what pisses me off. Here's what pisses me off.
Shut up, Robin.
If let's assume, all right, we're mad.
Right.
I'm not mad at you.
Right.
I'm not mad at her. I was not mad at anybody. I still talk to Jackie Martling. I mean, what did I lose? My friendship?
So we don't talk to Jackie.
What did I lose for Jackie? I lost your friendship. I lost our friendship.
But you were very angry with
I'm not angry. You're full of shit. I'm not angry. Who's bullshitting you? Don't put words in my fucking mouth. I mean,
see,
wait
Monique?
a minute.
It backs up what everybody else said.
Show a number of times when this whole
Gary,
thing had blown up.
Gary,
I think
as long as you know me, I've said what was on my mind.
Absolutely, that's what we love about you.
Why would I deny about this? If I said it, I would say I said it. I've got no axes to grind. I just want to get one thing straight. I don't hate nobody. I got no reason to hate him. I wish him luck. He did a lot good for me. I did a lot of good for him. I'm not looking to go on his show. I never asked to go on his show. I'm 76. It's fucking over.
That's good enough, Monique.
But that was it.
That's just me. That's why it could go. That's good enough. That's
No, but
so
that was
he's
it.
90. Still doing the math now. He is 92, going on 93.
Somebody just told us. Yeah, it was 92 or 93, something like that.
David is a good observation too. Yeah, it's a rare thing back. They have Robin, Fred, Artie on the wrap-up show with Gary and Hein at the same time. That was when it was just a free-for-all. Anybody would drop in. It's such a God. It's almost worth the price of Sirius back then. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. And now what do you have?
And
Some
that's
stupid
March.
bullshit summer school with that friggin' bizarre, horrific Rashawn. You know, just
yeah. Please tell me. I haven't listened. I haven't listened
Oh,
since
I haven't
June.
listened.
So
I haven't listened. I have no.
somebody better
Oh,
let
we
me
did
know when
do-
the show comes back on because I don't.
We did do a show, didn't Xavier and I, or some of us, do a show?
No, we kept teasing it. We never felt like listening to it. Nobody wanted to listen to it.
I under protest.
I think yeah, you're right. I think we threatened doing one, but
No.
it wasn't really worth our time. I
No,
agree.
absolutely not.
Tiger Lily says, I instinctively didn't like Pat. He's not somebody you'd want in your life. Always a victim, bottomless pit. A guy you never do enough for and never know when you do something wrong. Well, you know what, though? He is your classic Gindaloon. You know, just
Yes,
angry
I have
girl,
vocals just like that.
you know, just spewing vitriol on a consistent basis because he can, you know, but that's what made him Pat to me is like the
Unpredictable.
Gindaloon Don Rickles.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
The difference
He was
is Don
known
Rickles
as
wasn't
that.
angry. Like Don was actually a really sweet guy in person, apparently, but Pat is always angry. Pat's just fucking angry.
I
Sadly,
didn't know
Pat
a lot
was
about
getting
Pat Cooper before the show,
dementia.
admittedly. And I
Yeah.
remember asking my father and uncles about Pat Cooper, and they said exactly that, Monique. He was an Italian Don Rickles in those vaudeville days. He was all over, Vegas and
Yes.
the Catskills, and he was a roasting legend on old talk shows. That's exactly right.
Yep. All right, what do we got next? Bon.
Well, Gary appears in a hockey tournament for charity, and it's just he's hopeless. And the greatest thing about this is Jason Priestley was involved, and he's just shitting on Gary in it. And in this, you see a bit of Gary trying to schmooze like the organizers and stuff, and you see how hopeless he is. It's incredibly awkward. So we'll just let it play because it's
It's
just
a
so
hockey
funny
charity
watching.
game, Monique, at MSG, and I don't mean the Chinese MSG. And as you guessed it,
Oh
you
my
guessed
God.
it. No black people.
Am I playing
The
this for you, Bon?
The puck is the only thing black on the
Bon, am I playing
the
this
New
for
York
you?
Rangers super.
I got it. Here he is.
Oh dear
Look at him.
Christ!
Look at that. He got his name. I can't believe he got his name. on the
Gary
board.
Dell'Abate, producer of the Howard Stern Show, 14
Gary
years.
Dell'Abate. I'm here at the New York Rangers Super Skate. It's a charity celebrity hockey game. I look good in the
Box office
uniform. I look
smash.
great. I was telling my wife, but after that, it's all up in the air.
I don't need to see Gary's jack.
That's for Howard. They know how to please the boss.
Bull.
I'm on a blue team with blue shirts. There it is. I didn't think it was going to fit, but it did. Why double zero? I don't know. I want to be listed first in the program. No, I don't know. I like Jim Otto from the Oakland Raiders, the center, used to wear it. I always loved that number. So here's some of the people on my team. There's me, Kim Alexis, but she's in the ladies' locker room.
That's Sid
Kenny
Rosenberg
Albert.
behind him. That's better than me.
Hell yeah.
I didn't know they could train monkeys to skate.
There's Jason Priestley.
I'm sure he knows how to skate, right?
Jason's out on the ice right now, and he tried to trip me before, so he is definitely going to be.
Look at Christopher Reeve.
Oh, look at Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sitting
God.
still in the
Right
back.
behind Gary.
Wow.
That's the real Fortress of Solitude.
Wow.
Shit.
Get.
I just want to continue going on about Christopher.
Oh my God. You gotta... At least there's no horses in this.
Who's that guy with the hat on?
Right here. No.
Is this a little low to you guys, or am I crazy?
It's a little
I'll
just like
it.
Bond.
Keep turning it down.
They're awesome. Good shooting, man.
Fun
Is that Rick Moranis?
Run the Gay
this
is
is
dating
great.
Sarah Palin. It's in the
It's all
bizarre world.
Canadian Hollywood too. Everyone's Canadian in that thing. Jason Priestley hates the Stern Show at this point, by the way, because they started a drug rumor about him through his sister and Chauncey and stuff. So he hadn't been on the show, and he's actually targeting Gary. He hates the Stern. He's on the outs with him. That's
Good.
why he's going after Gary.
This
Deserves
is
it.
amazing. This is Gary schmoozing the organizers. This is the best bit. He's hopeless.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. You sounded great.
Thanks.
You sang, right? That was you that sang.
Yeah, that was me that sang.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much. You did a great job.
What do you do with the foundation?
What do I do? I'm married to Chris.
I had no idea. I'm sorry. I had no idea. Well, we promoted it.
Dana Reeves. She's
Wow.
she's deceased too. She's dead. God, it's so depressing.
Yeah, she died. That's
Damn
right.
it.
I had no idea. I'm sorry. I had no idea. Well, we promoted it for like a couple of weeks, so that's great.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, thank you. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And thanks again for coming. And please
You
give
must
her
want to look at it
We'll
like
be out again next
the
year.
show.
Oh, thank you very much.
Closet listener. Don't tell everybody.
Great.
That's great.
Thank you so much. That's so great
Wow.
to hear. Excuse me.
Dana
It's a lot of
Reeve had
fun.
been on the show 3 times, I think, before that, and he
Wow.
couldn't access it.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Playing.
I mean, that's great. I'm thinking about.
I didn't know he was
taking up
doing
hockey
so
just for playing around. I mean, I'm sweating profusely and.
That has to
That's-
be the most cringe-worthy, embarrassing thing that
Who
you
are
could
you?
ever do.
I'm
is
running
play for a
this.
charity where it's a charity for your husband, and you've been on the show. And
She's
you
been on the show
haven't won
3
it.
times, I think, up until that point.
Holy shit, is that cringeworthy? That's
There's
really-
no
that's
celebrity
really
event
fucked up.
Gary won't go to. There's no concert. There's no game.
Nope.
There's
You
no
invite him, he
celebrities.
will come.
He's going. It doesn't matter if he can skate or not. He's going.
Yeah, that's it. What did she die of? Do you remember?
I
Cancer.
can't remember.
She died of cancer.
Oh, but it
I-
wasn't
I-
too soon
I agree,
after him,
David.
right? I feel like it wasn't. It was kind of close by after he finally passed. I can't remember.
I said David writes, Christopher Reed had to spend part of his remaining years
Yeah.
watching Gary spaz out on the ice.
Oh, she died of
God.
lung cancer. She
In that
wasn't a
chair.
smoker, was she?
I don't think
that's just,
so.
like, one
No,
of the
people can die
stories.
of lung cancer that don't smoke.
I know. It's just such a weird
sucks.
thing for that to happen. That's horrible.
Shit,
God.
she wasn't even that old. Oh my God.
How old?
Ooh. She was, I'm doing some math here, 55 years old.
How old was Christopher Reeves when he passed away? What's the year difference between when she died and when he died? Just curious.
It's like a couple of years. It's not that much. I remember being really bummed out.
No, somebody
She
just
passed.
looked it up. She was only 44. Never
He
smoked.
never smoked.
She was born in 61 and died 2006. So
Jesus.
Yeah.
that's not 44.
44. It's
Is that
almost-
44?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
you're gonna turn.
Oh, I can't do maths right now. It must be the wine.
44. Never smoked.
He
was,
died from smoke and breathing in a social club.
he was
clean fumes.
48. Yeah, Christopher Reeves was 48.
Wow. And that was from falling off a horse, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was permanently paralyzed. That's a shame.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. So that's Gary cringing. That's really, actually, it's an awful clip.
It's just
It's
classic
wonderful, awful though. It really
Yeah,
is.
That's
the point of
delicious.
the
All
show.
right, what's next, Bonnie?
Well, we got
That's kind of funny.
this is a person who's close to Monique, and it's Richie Wilson refuses to invite Gary to his wedding, and this is
Oh,
just
yeah, yeah.
wonderful. Oh, this is
Oh, that's
classic.
delicious. I love it.
Here
Okay.
we go.
Not to be invited. Listen, if this were 2 years ago, it probably would have been a whole different thing. I would have had it out with Richie, but he doesn't like me. I know that, which is probably why I don't like him. Although in the last 2 years, I think Richie has changed dramatically, and he's a much nicer guy than he was 2 years ago, and we get along fine.
First of all, Richie, I think Gary, all jokes aside, is like one of the nicest fucking human beings on the planet.
He is.
How do you not like Gary?
He's taken a few shots at me. Time where you guys were playing some giant Super Bowl, the drunks after the game.
Right.
And for no reason, he just walks over to me and goes, I see that you being that kind of guy. For no, it totally
I don't even
unsolicited.
understand, but
Yeah,
it sounds like you
reductive.
said
I
something,
get it.
Gary.
I
I
get
don't
it.
remember taking shots
He's
at
calling
Richie.
him a
and-
Neanderthal. Gary's
Yeah.
calling him a Neanderthal. It's like, how are you supposed to take that the right way? You're calling him a fucking dunderhead Neanderthal. And you can
I
see
never
how
re-
reductive Gary is in that.
really had anything against it, but I felt that he didn't like me, and I was sort of like, well, fuck him then.
I think in the
That's classic. If someone doesn't like Gary and Gary knows it, Gary
I'm
doesn't
not gonna like you.
Jiggle waters.
Gary's
Doesn't
horrible
think if
2012 mustache. It's like an ugly strip of hair.
past few years,
Go
I
ahead.
think he's gotten arrogant. I think he's developed a little bit of an ego in the past few years.
That's interesting.
There was going to be a segment here once when a guy wanted to come in and perform some sort of fat injection surgery.
Yeah.
And it was on the schedule for a while, and I brought it up like, that's an open surgery in the middle of a studio. We can't have it.
Right.
And then he bitched like, who the fuck is Richie Wilson to do my job?
Right.
I don't think that happened that way at all. But when you have to be in charge, you have to tell people they can and can't do things.
When you say turn the camera off so you can pass a comment saying, who the fuck is he? Then I
I
got
have
an
no idea
issue.
what you're talking about. I would say that if anybody would be the definition of a chip on their shoulder, it would be you, although I don't think that's true of you anymore. But I think there was a period of time where you had an enormous chip on your shoulder. But again, I talked to Howard about this at dinner the other night. I don't think I've changed. I think you've changed.
So when Gary said before,
Yeah.
I talked
Richie doesn't
about
like
you
me,
at
so I don't
dinner
like
the
him.
other night
To me,
with
that's
our boss.
immature.
That's such a cunt thing to say.
Yeah, it is.
I talked
It
about
really
you
is.
with our boss at dinner the other night.
She doesn't like me, so I don't like him. To me, that's immature and childish. If someone doesn't like me, I'll still like them because I don't care.
I don't
There was an incident once with Gary where he even did something fucked up to Rachel. She was in the green room getting her hair done for the bonus show. And he walks in, and this was seen by a few people. He goes, I need that chair you're sitting on. I need that chair you're sitting on. And okay, take the chair. It was so he can get a haircut by Tony in the other room.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was just
that's not right.
That was a shit move.
That's a shit move. Gary, did you do that?
Possibly. I remember, but it's
That's a yes.
possible. Howard, there's a million places to sit in there, and we need.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, and
Richie
there's
said
a
he's
million-
So
there's a-
obnoxious.
what did he say?
Million. Richie just said he's so obnoxious.
He's so obnoxious.
I'm obsessed with Tony Coburn cleaning up on the Stern staff, having multiple haircuts in the same, charging whatever $50 a pop.
Yeah.
on
'Cause
Gary's.
you can't run downstairs to fucking Supercuts on
No.
6th Avenue and get it for like $10, you idiot. That's
Gary's
stupid
having his
haircut.
highlights done like Louis Lacari.
Asshole. His hair is like his mustache. It's like dark on top, gray on the sides. It's like a
Can
dick.
you just go to a vet and just
exactly get a shear?
get a groom?
Howard, there's a million places to sit in there, and we needed a chair that moves, and that was the one.
No, you needed a chair.
Yeah. Not we.
It's not that big a deal.
How much money
There's a
goes
whole
into the
sofa in
show?
there.
She was getting.
You can't find
then?
one chair like that. How much money goes into the show? They've half the building. They can't find one more chair like
Look
that.
at the room in the background there. I don't know if there's much going
It's a
into
shithole.
the.
It's an absolute
yeah.
shithole. They have so much shit going on in there. What is that? A Christmas tree on top right there? Like, what is going on up there?
Oh
Little
yeah.
bar
Oh shit.
fridge.
Jeez.
Then
I
he gets
agree with-
angry because people put food in there. Remember, he got shitty with Richard.
Yeah,
Christie
that
or
was
something.
Tracy Millman.
And really, you could put him in a folding chair and cut that stupid hair. of his.
Exactly.
What does it take to cut that hair?
Free
3 minutes?
Floby.
Seriously,
You'd use
I don't
clippers on the
understand.
sides and the back. You'd use.
He's got nothing
clippers and
going on there.
There's
I
no
continue to
style at all with
freaking
that hair.
angry at
I mean-
him. I hate him. You know, Richie Wilson does fucking hate you, Gary.
He does. He actually really
Oh,
does.
nice.
Yeah, I'll attest to that too. He really
You know,
does.
are you guys craving some giggle waters right now?
Yes,
I
I
am.
am.
I can't wait to get
Yes,
back
I
down to
am.
Florida so I can go
By the
there.
way, and you
My
guys,
boyfriend
you
Dennis.
confirm this. It's very successful, is it not?
Very. Yeah,
It
it's always
seems like it.
highly rated in the, when they do those surveys in the newspaper, number one for this, number one for that. Like they have amazing mixed drinks. He has like a real good, what is the guy who makes like really good cocktails called?
Mixologist.
Like a
Yeah,
mixologist. Yeah,
yeah.
they have like a
The
mixologist there.
smoked old fashioned with the expensive cherry. With the expensive cherry in it.
Show everyone
Oh,
what
it's
you're
so
drinking
good.
tonight, Dennis. What are you drinking tonight?
I'm just drinking Nero Diavolo wine. Just a little wine
Okay.
tonight.
Oh, my Nero Diablo over
See, just
here.
a little Sicilian wine going on. You know.
In an industry where, what is it, 90% of restaurants close after their first year, Giggle Waters is thriving for years and years and years. Take
They
that,
also
Stern
happen
Show.
to be in an area that happens to be very, very cute. Like it's an area that is like the place to
Scientology.
walk in that.
No, it's very quaint. It's very old Florida, very
And it
quaint.
used to be an old gas station, so it's like it has this big garage door, and it's like open to the sidewalk, and tons of outdoor seating, and
trees.
a movie theater inside. It's so cute.
Didn't you guys say they have miscavige night for Scientology?
No, they don't.
Is it by Clearwater, Florida?
Not that close.
No.
It's about,
Okay.
it's about
I thought
15
you said
miles
it
from
was-
Clearwater.
No, it's just a little bit
Oh,
north
he
of.
collaborated with Richie Wilson 2 times. Midlife crisis.
All right, Bon,
Giggle
continue the goddamn clip already.
I'm just sitting here listening to you babble on.
We are
It's not
babbling.
my fault.
Our hair and makeup done. You can't get it on the sofa.
With something more like this. Do you mind if we borrow that chair? But Richie probably.
No. There were other people here. If they want to come in or say it happened that way.
Can I ask you a question? Have you not noticed in the last year that I have made an effort to be nicer to you?
No.
Wow.
What he just said. Would you ever ask someone that in an argument? Have you?
And this is why, my friends, this is why the Howard TV crew is no longer there. I bet you they have these little stupid fucking dinners, and it's like, I really don't like Richie and that crew. Like, I'm sure we can probably do whatever TV thing we're doing for the future, cheaper, half the price, and, boss, we really don't need them.
Yeah.
And plus I don't feel with them anymore.
And that's why people like.
Oh, I
John-
see it all going down in my head right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
nobody. You're
absolutely.
so right, Monique. You're so right. Nobody loved the dissolution of Howard TV more than Gary. His feuds with DePace and Richie
Yes.
Wilson, they all
Yes.
hated him. That's a great point. I never even thought of that.
Yes, I could see the stupid little covert dinner that he's having with my boss. And, talking about who should stay and who should go because there's going to be a reorganization when the stupid redhead twat comes in. And all of a sudden, we don't need the TV people because A, we're not going to be on pay-per-view anymore. And you
Yes.
know what? Fuck it. Let Sirius pay for them. And we could just probably have like remote cameras and, people that are half the price. I see it. I see it in my head.
What do you
Who
three
deserves to be
suppose
paid?
Howard made off Howard TV
Not much.
separately from Sirius a year?
Not much.
Well, I would love to know.
Howard
I
TV
would
was
love to
never
know.
successful.
No,
was
it wasn't. But I wonder, but he's not doing anything unless his marble's involved. So I just wonder what he got. I just want to
He
know.
got a vig off of the subscription. I mean, period. So minus whatever production value had to go into it. They probably paid these guys through HTV, and then he got the net proceeds of that.
And in true Howard fashion, he did absolutely nothing extra for it. You
No.
would think he'd have like a separate interview show just for Howard TV he's too lazy to even do that. And I wonder what percentage of Sirius subscribers actually subscribe to Howard TV?
That's a good
10%?
question. They never did that well, so who knows?
Well,
I mean,
they wouldn't reveal it.
that
You know,
much.
it sucks. if
Remember,
they
there
don't
was
reveal it.
another part to Howard TV. You had to have cable. So if you didn't have cable,
Yeah,
you
they
couldn't
had to
even
carry
get it.
It had to carry it. And
It
this
had to
is
carry,
great.
so you couldn't even get it. Like
Right.
my area never had it. So yeah, I never.
I
wasted
got
any
it
money
because
on it.
Monique and I are ground zero for Stern.
There
people
we are.
with
We're
the
OGs
tri-state
too.
area. Yeah. So we'll get everything.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to continue
Can I
this.
ask you a question? Have you not noticed in the last year that I have made an effort to be nicer to you?
No.
Then that's you. That's who you are.
That's who I am.
You don't detect this.
By the way, I'm thrilled because I just remembered that I can actually control the clips as well from here. Okay.
New nice Gary?
Wow.
No.
I actually thought I've gone out of my way to be nicer to Richie, but I guess if you don't kiss his ass, it's not enough.
Who would think on those terms? Everyone's running around saying, "Has Gary been nicer to me lately?" Like everyone's just
Yeah.
thinking about the Gary moods all day long. Who would possibly? Could you
But
imagine
this
having a?
is why it's so delicious that a Marcy Turk had to be the one to come in there to start, making some sort of change to the way they operated, because Gary had a head that was like fucking
Yeah.
exploding
Yes.
with, he was just drunk with stupid power.
Yes.
It's like Paul Blart Mall Cop. He's just drunk with stupidity and power that means nothing in any other world except for his little fiefdom. And so
Fiefdom.
something had happened
Ooh.
in order for him to change. And he is the reason for Marcy, and he is the reason that fucking that the TV crew didn't get to keep their fucking jobs. I firmly believe that now.
And Gary's a
I
Buckwall
listen to
client
this.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
but,
he is.
I mean, nobody has ever been so successful with so little as Gary.
Indeed. Hey, did we notice, by the way, with the whole summer school thing, that Gary Buckwell client is on the show? And according to Mr. Whiskers, John Hine no longer a Buckwell client, not on the summer show.
Good observation.
Just throwing it out there.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Because according to Whiskers, he's no longer with the Buckwell.
Has anybody listened to a full? Is it just an
can't.
hour? Is it just what is it? Is
We
it,
have no idea.
Is
We have
it,
no
what's
idea.
the length of the show? Is it,
An hour. An hour.
All right, I'm
to
gonna listen to a whole show. It's just an hour. 1
I
hour is
listened
it?
to it when they had the Silver Sun pickups on, and they were playing out of the garage
They're a good band.
in California.
They're a
And
really good band.
the audio was horrific. It was really kind of like they were like in super high ceilings, and everything was like bouncing off the walls, echoing. It was just horrible. It was just horribly produced. I was shocked that they actually did that.
They don't care.
No, they-
Rasan is still coming from L.A. and Ross
and
Zapin
Gary,
heads
they
the
all
L.A.
flew out there.
division.
They all flew out there to do these summer school shows. And on the one
Gary
show I
flew
listened
out there?
Yes.
Oh, you had to see his Gamada. Okay,
Melissa.
well, you got to see Melissa.
Sweet Melissa.
I gotta see my son
you-
who works in the nepotism.
No, and his side piece.
Yeah, I don't know if he still has that side piece actually.
I think he does.
I don't know.
Buckwald's daughter runs the L.A. division. And then Ross Zapin runs the L.A. Sirius.
Zos,
Yes.
That's
you
how
said
right.
it wrong.
Zos Rapin. I'm
Say
sorry.
it-
I had
say
my
it.
own
Zos Rapin,
nomenclature. Zos Rapin.
Lost raping. All right, what are we going to next, Bonnie?
Nothing says showbiz like John Hine. Andrew.
Bonnie?
Well, Gary gets involved in the Parks and Recreation and becomes a member of the board,
Yeah.
and it was all about getting voted in, and
I
people
remember
weren't
that.
Love that
happy
title.
about this. One woman campaigned for him not to be because she was saying he was a misogynist and all this stuff. And let's go. Here we go.
You got it?
Steve Langford.
That's not it, is
That's
it?
mine. I was keeping it in the behind so that you
I
could.
think this is.
You got it in the what?
I think Langford introduces it. I think
I
that
was
is.
keeping it in the back room, Bond, so just in
Oh.
case you were leaving, I'd have them ready to go in the back.
No, Gina,
play
I use,
mine.
unfortunately, Gina, I don't do bushels. I actually use canned tomatoes. I'm sorry.
Is this a great gift
Sorry.
to you getting the vote to go ahead and do volunteer work?
It was a really amazing night because they brought my name up and they said if anybody wants to speak, you can speak. So nobody ever speaks at these things. So 20 people got up to speak.
Oh my God!
They all each had 3 minutes each to speak. There was a state assemblyman, the ex-tax collector, the mayor, the selectman, a 16-year-old kid I coached, and a whole bunch of my neighbors.
What did they say? I mean,
Just that I'm a good guy and that all this other stuff is a smokescreen, that he's a good guy, he's a good person, and and then a bunch of people got up and mostly their discussion was that the show has turned the whole thing into a circus that we've,
Most of the discussion is why would I want a guy on our board who wears the freebie serious XM tracksuit
Swagaboo.
every fucking day.
The irony of someone heading the Parks and Rec department who can't throw a baseball.
Friggin' the old guineas driving the AC would laugh at that outfit. I mean, that's horrid.
So pathetic.
Dennis is
We
a whole
made a
closet.
mockery of.
We turned it into a circus.
Yeah, but so and then they voted, and when Steve says a resounding vote, there were like 10 other people who were voted on last night. They all won like 190 to nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There were still 64 people
do
who
you
went
think-
along with the ruse.
Do you think this woman went and campaigned and got 60 some odd people to vote against you?
Oh, I know it. I know she did.
Wow. Wow. It lingers in your mind, doesn't it? That 60-something people decided you weren't good enough to be a volunteer in your community?
But that's okay because I think I don't think they're representative. Well, they're not representative of the town because the town voted.
How do they rationalize that you're a horrendous being? Okay, so let's say they assume I'm a horrendous human being. You work for me.
Well, at
How
one point,
how are you a horrendous human being?
Somebody threw out the term that I was a misogynist.
Right. What would the strangers who hated you say? What were they saying?
That I'm using this to just get ratings to further the show. That I'm not a very good person.
This is really helping. In fact, Gary was asked by a member of his community to do this. They needed volunteers. They couldn't find anyone to
Right, he
step
didn't
up.
put himself up for this.
They couldn't.
I hate everything about him. Fuck you, Gary. You don't deserve to. And didn't he wind up winning?
He did. He volunteered.
Would you not love to hear that whole meeting with the town people screaming about
Jesus
how
Christ.
great would it be to sit in on that? Oh my God, that would be phenomenal.
I love it.
But watching him lick his teeth over and over again was kind of disturbing.
I hate this clip. I'm making it go away. Bon, can you make this clip go away? I hate everything about him in Parks and Recreations. Bon.
Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
Bonnie. Bon. So he and I are having like a little discussion behind the scenes over here because I'm trying to figure out which way he's sharing the clips versus the way I usually throw them on the side. And you doing them individually, or you doing like
yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why I only have mine up
Quite
here.
the conversation.
Well, no, because I have mine.
Stunning.
I have all of mine here in tabs.
See, that looks awful. It's all
Okay, well,
minimized.
fuck you, because
You
you're
need-
the one who.
Fuck you!
You, because you wanted me to download them, so I just.
No, that doesn't mean that I'm at fault here. You're playing them wrong.
What do you think about CB's theory that Gary's Adidas jacket is free advertising product placement?
Probably.
For Adidas? I don't put it past them
Probably
at
not
all.
even really Adidas. It's just Sirius XM swag.
No. He had an Adidas one he used to wear all the
Gary's
time.
Adidas jacket he wears all.
I think it only has
All
2
the-
stripes. It doesn't even have 3 stripes. It's not fucking Adidas.
He got it in Chinatown.
They made them. They made that for the team. That's why it's only 4 stripes.
It's Champion
Oh,
from
Adidas. Oh,
Target.
yeah, Adidas. You know what Adidas?
The Parks and Rec department should have had the hockey clip. Absolutely. That was absolutely horrible. That was like the clip of the day because that was just so incredibly awful that he
Oh,
did
they put a serious logo on it.
Oh,
The
God.
jacket.
All right, so we're going to our next clip, and it is where
Canal Street swag.
Gary.
That's funny. Josh
announces
Foster.
Reese's. Is that the one that we're doing next?
Reese's. That's the. I was a request from somebody today, and I went after it thinking it was a bit. It's just a fluffy little argument. Gary mispronounces his favorite candy, and they bust him on.
How?
I don't know. I don't know.
How did you do that?
All right.
It's in.
Oh, I guess this is my turn to play my shitty clip. So here
I guess it's 3 minutes long.
Dylan, I've always wanted to hear this Bob Dylan radio hour.
Which was on XM.
And it used to really piss me off. What are you saying? XM?
XM.
No, X. Say
That's how
XM.
it started.
XM.
Why are
I'm
you saying
tired
it?
today.
What are you doing?
I'm tired.
Sound like
XM.
Gary. How about Gary goes, that's Reese's peanut butter cups. Reese's. You didn't hear him when he goes,
It's Reese's, but the
Reese's.
guys here told me it was Reese's. I thought it was some weird way that they pronounced it for a product. I
So
know
there's
it's
his
Reese's.
Adidas. That has nothing to do with being serious.
In that movie, you always said Reese's.
You're a liar.
I'm not.
You're a liar. I dare you to produce it for me saying Reese's.
You always say Reese's.
$100. $100.
That was epic cat moment, Dennis.
I've heard him say Reese a million times.
Let's make it $500.
I've heard you say it even in your personal life.
I don't say it's Reese's. Listen, it's my favorite candy. You think I don't know how to say it?
Well, you love Baba
No,
Booey.
you don't.
He really can't close his mouth over those teeth, can he?
cartoon
No,
was-
he can't. Those things are just enormous.
Your favorite candy is Reese's, and you said Reese's.
$500.
I think he's thinking Reese's monkey.
The Reese's.
Reese's monkey.
Somebody out there, in fact, JD yelled that he says it's Reese's. So I thought maybe because they have
JD,
some
the
marketing
smartest
thing
person
or
on board.
some licensing thing, they had to call it a different name.
Dude, everyone in here was laughing at you, even JD, because he never heard of Reese's
You
either.
laugh all you want. I dare. If $500 produce a tape of me ever saying it differently.
Look what's going on in the back of this office. So he's got a computer, he's got boxes, he's got file cabinets, he's got more file cabinets, he's got boxes down here. He's got shit on top of this is all his like shit. It's paper.
What's in those
everywhere.
file cabinets? I mean, literally, what can he have in there?
They literally have shit everywhere. Now, take note of the fact that he has on his
Unclassified
Adidas
documents.
jacket here. He has another one hanging back here, and I think I see another one hanging behind.
How many tracksuits do you need?
Yeah. he's just, he's just working a lick out, Gary.
Fairway Maiden. Fairway Maiden. Gary can't get into Hofstra. That's a Delphi you're talking about.
Yeah,
Gary
Delphi.
doesn't have a chance of getting into Hofstra.
No, fucking
I want to be proven wrong.
Don't insult
Why would Baba Louie be Baba Booey?
He lives by Hofstra.
What is the other?
know.
1 and 1 is 2. And I'm telling you twice, you're dopey.
I want to point something out while I have the chance. All those
Reese's balls.
all those Klondikes that are in my freezer were not put in there by me. I have not eaten them.
Reese's balls.
Fuck off.
I want Reese's. Claim say
Reese's monkey.
Play that again.
You had me Reese's. All I was doing was repeating what somebody in the
Yeah,
office
okay.
said. I'm just
Well, why don't you repeat
Mix.
Christ.
Someone
but,
said.
but dude, I would fess up to that.
You know your breath smells like feces.
Fuck you.
Reese's.
Remember
both. You have Reese's Klondike bar.
Remember Secretary of State Edwin Mises?
Oh, I love this when they play that song. Oh, I love that.
I love Gary fake typing. That's my favorite part. Gary pecking on the home keys.
Jesus.
Robin started with eggs.
I said exam, and then he gets humbled.
Yeah. It's a weird show.
It's a great song.
It's so funny.
It is. It's
so
catchy.
good. It's so crap. I love this. Oh, they got that song in the background. Ba 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 ba. Oh, it's so good.
Sal's got the Baba Booey mask on and he's holding his Reese's PC Klondike bar.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I opted for the video because I don't think most people ever saw the
Oh.
video. It was always like an audio thing with that. There's
Oh,
a
that's
weird
so
obscure
video.
thing.
Gold.
That is delicious. That
It's
is
gold.
That actually made me laugh. I really appreciate it. It's so fucking stupid.
Well, it's like McKine, Monique. We did McKine the first. We did the Gary Part 1, which was like, was it 4 years ago? 3 years ago?
Oh my god, it's so funny. You know what?
Yeah.
People are doing that all over TikTok right now too. It's just
McKine?
the funniest thing.
McKine.
McKine.
Yeah.
McKine.
You know the joke to that, right?
Yeah. What spell machine? Oh no. What is MACHINE?
That was
No,
incredible.
no, you have to do it you have
Yeah.
to do okay, what is MAC WINN spell?
WINN.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
MIC?
anything because it sounds like crap.
MACWINN.
McWin.
Okay. What is MACDONALDS?
McDonald's.
Okay. What is MAC oh, I can't even think of a good stupid name with Mac in it. Well, I'm ruining the
Yeah.
McDowell's.
All right.
McDowell's.
MACDOWELLS. Right. McDowell's. And then it's what is MACHINE? And most people say McKine. And that's how they got him with it. Like,
But
hook, line,
nobody
and
would say that. I don't know why he said that. I can't
No, because
imagine
it's the
them
joke.
saying that.
They
I'd
tricked
say
him.
machine.
Vowels.
You tricked him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
was
how
able to
could
be
it
tricked
trick?
by it.
You'd have to be pretty dumb to
No,
get
no,
tricked
no, no,
by
no.
that.
I didn't do it right because I couldn't think of 3 Mac names, and you know already what machine is because we know the Mac
McAfee
phone
virus.
joke. But if you don't know it, it's actually stupid and it works Sorry, everybody. Sorry.
No, I get
think
it.
it'd work
Absolutely.
I don't think
Absolutely.
it'd work on anyone of us or anyone
might.
in the chat either. I don't know how he. It's amazing. It was so funny. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that's already in his last year, by the way. He's going into. He's got.
Yeah, oh, you look
he's got,
like shit there,
He's
by
got
the way.
10 months left or something at that point.
Eish. All right, where are we
That
next?
caller was so good who did that, McKine. He was really good on the call as well to mess with Gary. That was such a good moment.
That was a good moment. All right, what do we got next?
Well, this is now we're getting into the classics because Gary sleeping at work, and I know you've all seen it before, but this is
This is Howard TV, Monique. This is what you're talking about. How Gary's biggest nightmare. The boys from Howard TV, and this is
a lot of
DePace.
this, a lot of my editing is about what you said, John, about DePace. John Gary took it really badly. Like,
all right, let's hear.
And you see,
Oh,
him
look at
berating
Dennis.
DePace, which I love.
I hate when Gary sleeps behind you, Dennis. All right, Bon, do you have this?
You fall asleep during the show.
Those teeth are terrifying.
Okay.
Here we go.
There he is
I
again.
didn't fall asleep, but I was extreme.
Liar.
I was I didn't fall. I was tired.
That's
And I definitely
asleep.
closed my eyes.
Want to see the tape?
I was never out. Okay,
dude, you were snoring and licking your chops.
First of all, you can't tell I was snoring because there's no sound on.
No.
And-
Look, tell me, are you asleep?
I'm not asleep.
All right, here, Robin, look. Watch the video.
my goodness.
That's a video. He ain't moving. He's dead out.
That's
I do look out. I'll tell you that.
He looks
Look at
dead.
Wow. Maybe,
But do you deny you're sleeping there?
I didn't think I was, but it looks like I am.
Yeah. You were out for a look.
Oh man.
But this is disrespectful to me in the
It
same
is.
way when
No, it
Benji's
is.
late. I
It's-
mean,
it's-
come
it's-
on.
it's wrong.
Put your energy into your job.
I tell you, I haven't done that ever.
You're the
absolutely
fucking
right.
executive.
Oh.
Wolf.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, I'll admit when I'm sleeping in my office after the show, I take a snooze.
Wow,
During
that
the
is
show, we got to stay awake. How many black and white
disturbing.
cookies did you eat?
I probably had like 7 or 8, but they're small ones, not the big giant ones.
Okay, but Gary, you just lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah, I got it under control, Robin. I'm not gonna,
Robin talking about weight.
I'm not gonna go get fucking
I just wanted to
naturally
ask.
grown black and white cookies.
no.
Bottom line, we had a deal that you could leave my camera on all the time, and what goes on in there is for me. When I hit that button's on. You now have to figure out a way to
Yes,
get
how
that
to do
mechanism
this
back the
with
way it
that
was.
push
I
back
don't
stick.
want my camera on 24/7. It's done.
We've never
I don't
once
care what you
ever
ever. You promised me that when that camera was on, that unless I pushed the button down, that was all we would use. I don't want me to be in the fishbowl all the time. I've never been comfortable with you guys staring at me all day long. So if I want to pick my nose, I don't need you guys to fucking look at it. That's for me to decide. Understood.
Telling you, I went back on my word. Yes, I did. I never lied, douchebag. You're a piece of shit. Hey, look, it wasn't just me. It was a whole set of people, including Howard. Including Howard.
I didn't know about the camera.
Howard, once you knew about it, you didn't have to play it.
Yes, I did.
I wish I could see
Jesus.
Gary right now, but I can't because he turned his camera off. I wish I could have talked to you last week when you left a day early to go on vacation.
Just look at that desk setup. It's fascinating. It always fascinates. Windows XP was probably around then, I guess. So,
Yeah,
it's
isn't
not
he?
bad,
Isn't he using like a GoPro there? Isn't that what his camera
Windows
is?
XP. Is that is
GoPros
XP or
didn't
not? Yeah.
exist back
Yeah, it is
then.
XP.
But you're right. It's something like that. Look
Jesus
at that. Look at
Christ,
the little.
though.
Look at his.
Look
little
at his big
console.
mirror so he can look at himself before he goes on air. You see it
I
up
love it.
there?
I love it.
Oh
Dennis
my
advised me to
God.
install Windows Vista again. I said I'm not doing it.
Windows Vista. I love it. I love it. I love it.
By the way, David's got a great point too. How hard's Gary working? This is when it was revealed that Gary doesn't book guests. He waits for his. He just checks his answer machine. They don't. They are too cool to pursue anybody. So his entire job description was marginalized. He didn't do any legwork to pursue guests.
That's right.
And what is he doing at that point? This is before Marcy, but he still isn't. And I remember how shitty the guests were during this period. David is absolutely right about that.
Wasn't when was it just recently that everybody was praising him for such an amazing get that Howard had on air?
Mick Jagger.
Was it Mick?
Was
Yeah,
Mick Jagger?
He was self-congratulating. I think on the the next day, and then on the wrap-up show, he's patting himself on the back.
Totally patting himself on the back.
Wasn't that a serious tie?
Yes, Dennis.
Yeah,
Yes, you beat me
real
to it.
hard get.
That was only
I know.
30
It's
minutes,
always-
wasn't it?
It was 30 minutes.
It was
Bob,
horrible.
yes.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
short.
the worst ever. It
Yeah.
was
One
the
of
worst.
I think it's the worst interview he's done.
Yeah, it makes
since
Robert Plant's interview like the act inside the actor's studio. I mean, seriously.
Oh yeah,
What's
Robert
his,
Plant was probably the worst. That was.
You know, we
brilliant.
should do a show on his worst interviews. I think that
Greg,
would-
absolutely.
Remember
Oh.
Greg Allman?
Let's
That
do
would
that.
be
Oh
good,
shit, the
yeah.
Greg
Allman.
Greg Allman
was,
was-
I'd never heard that.
Okay, I love this. Worst interviews. Let's do that for sure.
Yeah, that's a good
yes.
one. That's a good
Go
one.
ahead, go, babe.
See that?
Gary is right, Scott. You're a liar. You have to just accept it.
But everyone in this friggin' control room who decided to use the tape. But here's the thing, Scott. I'm sorry, but I betrayed you. But you're never wrong. Listen to me.
Neither is Gary, obviously.
Am wrong and sorry. That's it.
Robin, look at the hidden camera right now. There's Gary in his office sleeping, and he's dreaming about solitaire. Oh, that's Sal with the Gary mask.
With the Gary mask.
Scott calls me a hypocrite. And he says, Howard's got a camera on him. And I say, oh, yeah? Then how come you don't show Howard picking food out of his mouth during a commercial?
Nice.
You know there's a camera in the Howard, but you trust him not to do it,
Yeah,
right?
because I'd fire them.
There you go.
There
I'd
you
fire
go.
them.
That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Of course he wouldn't.
That's what I want to
He
say.
wouldn't. Of
No,
course
Neil
he
Young was bad too. Yeah, it's true.
would. Assholes.
Any dinosaur rocker post 2012 say is
How much is that in American money?
Double DMs at
They
once.
call him fake. Thank you, Red Bar. Thank you, Red Bar. That's Scars Club money.
One day, my friends, one day, I swear, I promise, one day. Yeah, we'll work on that. Okay, what do we got next?
Well, we got one of the. This is a great sort of signpost for Gary just not tolerating crap at all anymore, and it's the Gary versus Yucko fight.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
So when he doesn't hear half the calls because he's playing solitaire all the goddamn time.
Is that true?
Ricky Wilson's got pictures of him playing it.
Really?
Pretty lost 28 pounds. So what, he get one of his fucking teeth pulled?
I heard you lost 100 pounds. It's called a wife, you cock.
Hey, fuck you. You think that's my Achilles heel? I don't have a fucking Achilles heel. I don't give a shit about that anymore.
Dude, she was fucking leaving you while she was saying I do.
Who gives a shit? That was fucking...
You give a shit.
Gary.
You give a shit.
I do not.
Look at Sal there coming in to.
The worst part is though, this is Howard's mandate. Gary's doing what Howard's telling him to do, and he was pretending that he's not booking guests because Howard's too lazy to interview guests. That's why he's doing what he's doing. I mean, Gary's just taking the hit for Howard. It's not like
Yes,
you can
you're
do whatever
right.
you
You're
want.
right, Dovey. This is past. This is now when they have to get dressed. Here's the blazer.
Right. Oh, that
here's
yeah.
the button-down shirt. Notice there's no more Adidas 15 jackets hanging in the back here. So yeah, you're right. Good
The
catch.
polishing a turd period.
Yeah, Gary, even in that shirt, it still doesn't help.
No, of course.
It wasn't an Achilles heel.
really
It was her
doesn't.
heel up your ass while she was booting you out.
You play solitaire during the wrap-up show?
I might have done that once or twice. Sometimes Benji goes on these long tangents and I just sort of lose steam.
Gary, you fucking suck on that fucking show.
Hey, Yucko, why don't you call me tomorrow and try to get rebooked on the show, you cunt? Why don't we get on it? You haven't been funny on the show in ages. Maybe you ought to go back and rethink your act, because it just ain't cutting it anymore, and you might see that reflected in ticket sales.
Oh, whatever. I fucking had a sold-out show this past weekend, you fucking dumbass.
A 10 at the Holiday Inn, that ain't it.
It was a theater, you dumbass.
Dude, there's no way you played to more than 150 people in the last 3 years. There's just no fucking way. I know where you play. You can't. Yucko on his own cannot film 500 seats. It's impossible.
I wasn't on my own. I never go out on my own.
You suck. I got a pretty good idea what's going on, Yucko. You want to take off the gloves. You just haven't been doing that well. And you're sort of a downer.
Oh, really? Is that why Howard's picked up the phone fucking 4 times the past week? Because I got one-liners and zingers about you?
Well, that's again,
Yeah,
you know,
so
you have
true.
one good thing that you can do. You can make fun of me.
It drives me crazy also that he never turns his chair to speak to the front of the microphone.
Yeah. Why have it in that position? What is that swirl bullshit? It's like
It's a whole move.
Yeah,
It's a whole It's a whole manipulated kind of. I remember. Do you guys all remember when Sirius first started?
It was
and
clear.
They gave Gary a brand new mic, and it sounded like us. Like it was like
yeah.
yeah. So it's on page 2, and it's like I don't
Gary preview page 2, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
and
Howard
Howard's
got
like,
upset
"I don't like-"
because it was so clear.
So that this
Yeah.
piece of equipment that you see right here with this long microphone is a remnant from K-Rock because they wanted to bring it with them because they loved him sounding like shit. So it's classic that they would do this.
Didn't the host of Wonderama use that on Sunday morning?
Bob McAllister?
That's a good think of his name.
You know, I was on.
Very
I
nice.
told you,
I couldn't
you
think
know I
of
was
his name.
on Wonderama, right?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yes.
I was jealous. I was so I wanted the toys so bad they had in
Oh my
Wonderama.
god! Well, I never got called. My sister got called to come up, and she did this game where you had to put your hand through the thing and guess what the food was.
Oh.
And she didn't win that either. But we both got those little Lender's mini bagels with our names on it that you wore around your neck. Do you remember there was a little necklace?
Yes, of course. I remember. Where was that film, Monique? Where,
Oh, it's like a
what's the-
studio on the west side somewhere. My mother
Oh,
brought
my
us into the city.
You remember they had a row of toys in the front, and it was all the greatest, latest toys.
It was like
and
a dream come
I
true.
would,
Are you
I would
kidding
jerk
me?
off to the big wheels.
We
and the-
came home. We came home with a best hits of Wonderama Bob McAllister album.
I'm so jealous.
My Fury is a goodie.
I wanted to go on that
I'm a
so bad.
goodie. Oh, it brings back such amazing memories of my father carrying me around on his shoulders singing that. I love that.
You have great parents. You had Ben and Ray Stern parents. You had a great child.
I had the best parents that a child could ever ask for.
You could figure out a way to pack 500 people into a theater to see that, then you'd be successful. I mean, you got a lot going on.
After Howard goes off the air, huh?
I'm going to get a job, and maybe it won't be as successful, but somebody's interested in me. I may not have the success I have now, and maybe I will.
Who's interested in you?
I heard you were trying to fucking beg Kimmel into a job. Like he's gonna fucking hire you.
I don't speak to Jimmy Kimmel.
Not what I heard.
That's something you just made up.
I've heard that too.
Oh, I didn't make it up.
Why don't you put together a fucking act that has nothing to do with us and see who comes to see it? What is it that you want to do then?
I want to fuck you up the ass.
He's almost about to cry there. You can hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
John, do you agree?
Yeah, no, totally. Melvin's always obsessed with me being angry. Anger gets the best results in this case with Gary, right? There's nothing better than somebody angry on the radio, and this is Gary at his best.
Yeah,
they always brought out the worst in Gary, and I love it. And Gary has no game though. Gary never has had game. You know, he never knows how to reply. He never has a witty comeback. You know, he just goes into fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
I booked the show.
I
got
that is the classic. What do you do for a living? It's
Yes,
the
of course. Yep.
classic. What do you do for a living? Because
He's barely Homo sapien.
He barely. Look at the picture behind.
Oh yeah, put them back up.
See, okay, that's how Howard draws. Okay, no, who did
That's
that?
Howard's painting.
That's Howard. Howard.
That's
did that.
Howard.
That's awesome. I love that.
And
Howard did
classic.
And
Yeah,
thank you, Tiger Lily. And by the way, Tiger Lily hit me to a clip from the Bonfire, which is a phenomenal clip. I would not have found if it wasn't for Tiger Lily and Wino Forever Thread. But Gary's a reflection of Howard. So Yucko's not getting booked because Howard doesn't want him booked, and Yucko's falling into this trap. People thinking that Gary has some semblance of creative control over it's what Howard wants. And
Tiger Lilies of
Yucko
the world.
who's a smoking piece of ass.
All right, let's finish this stupid clip.
I want to fuck you up the ass.
Wow. How can Gary get so sensitive about solitaire?
It ain't about solitaire. It's about Yucko. I was a little pissed off at the last time he fucked me on the show.
What did he say last time?
I was talking to him in the green room, and I was talking about a comedian, and then he fucking blasted her on the air, made me look like a dick. Bobby Slayton doesn't suck. Bobby Slayton, swear to God, is one of the funniest fucking comedians ever. On the show, it doesn't come across. I love the guy, and I think he's a fucking great stand-up. Now, you made me look like a dick, Yucko. I did not like that at fucking all.
Bobby Slayton?
Oh, yeah.
Bobby and I talked, and he luckily had a good sense of humor about it. But it was a dick move on his part, or I should say a desperation move, because for his lack of jokes, he had to pick up on that. Because that's the only thing that was interesting in that appearance. Is begging Artie for a benefit to help raise money for your parents' house not the definition of sad?
I did not beg.
He offered after you asked.
I
Call
mean,
Will from now on, by the way, for real.
What is that?
You want to get booked on a show, call Will. Now, don't email me and say you were just kidding around, like you usually do.
I never apologize.
Oh, that's a lie, but okay, fine.
All right.
All right, thank
No.
God that's over.
The definition of sad is Howard asking the audience for cat money. That's the definition of sad. A
Exactly.
billionaire shaking down the audience for for pennies.
For
I bought the
kittens.
calendar so that we can mock it as soon as it gets to my home.
Yes. You know what? That should be a special. We need to do that as a special.
Yes, of course we will. I will make
Can we
sure
get-
that
oh,
every one of
laser
them is scanned in.
Laser pointers. Laser pointers.
Oh, laser pointers.
Laser
That's
pointers.
delicious.
And Bobby Slayton hasn't been on the show since, and I'm not sure Yucko has either. I'm not sure. When is the last time Yucko's been on the show?
When that
Long
show
time.
got
He was
No,
when
when the-
Huckleberry got renewed.
Couple of years ago?
Yeah.
It was a couple years
Huckleberry
ago.
got renewed, and he came on just because
Yeah.
he was so happy about it, and I think Howard was genuinely happy for him, and he promoted it.
But he wasn't on long for a
No, he was
long
just on the
time
phone.
before
It was.
that.
It
No,
wasn't
but
like
it
it wasn't an actual appearance. All right.
Before that, Brickleberry getting renewed, he hadn't been on for years. He was dead. I got
You're
to
right,
go.
David.
I've got a plumber coming. I'm sorry.
What, is he there yet? No.
I gave you a private message about it. Yeah, he's coming.
Dennis is genetically a plumber. He's a Super Mario brother, Vaughn.
He's gonna be
just-
here in like 10 minutes. I'll come
All right,
back
we
if
have a
you're
little
still
time.
on. But you've got
That's
you've
just-
got
That's racist.
Sal versus. I got to
I'll
go,
have
but
to
you've
tell
got
him.
Sal versus Gary up next. So I'll come back if he fixes it in 1 minute.
This is what you
or
call
so.
an
plumber come
Australian.
on.
This is what you call an Aussie exit, Monique. We've heard of the Irish exit.
Yeah, but he wouldn't even announce it if it was like a real Aussie exit.
That's true.
Okay.
You have to just hang up.
So I'm gonna do Sal versus Gary. So I didn't do it the way he does it because that would mean that I'd have to upload every single one of these stupid clips individually, and I did not do that. So
That
so
was
yeah, you're
nice.
stuck
Thanks
with.
for that.
Oh, you're still here.
Yeah, I heard
He's
that.
still, he's still here. He's talking about him behind his back in front of his face.
I'll send you some
I'm
text
sorry.
messages after the show. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're still there. I didn't realize. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, see, yeah, because it's easy to do that and look at all the chat and make sure that we put them up and make sure that everything is together. But okay, I digress. Let's go on to Sal versus Gary.
I want him to put the plumber on the air. I want to hear like an Australian
You're
plumber.
an Australian plumber. Me too.
Yeah, I really do
That's really
actually.
interesting. I'd like him to bring a camera into the toilet with us.
Crikey.
And show him fixing it. All right, so Sal versus Gary. What goes on this one, Johnny boy?
I don't. They've fought so many times. I don't.
Yeah, there's a
remember
lot
which
of fights
specific
between
one.
two of them.
I don't remember which. It's been so long since I sent it to you. It could be anything.
All right, well, it'll be a surprise for all of us. so let's
It'll
go
come to
ahead
me in
and,
2 seconds.
Let me see. Can I blow it up a little bit? Okay, here we go.
Guest booking, I think.
Going on
Right,
out
so I
there.
get up and I go, Richard, do you know where it is? And I'm in with Richard, so someone else can answer.
Well, then get a system going. That's what I always tell you, systems. What are you?
Okay. We know.
Why is he getting angry with Sal? Be angry with himself.
Fucking Sal while I'm trying to have a conversation with you. There's a man in a monkey mask ready to get a horn.
So what? Well, he's not bothering you.
So get the fuck out of here. You laugh. Good. If it were you, it'd be a whole different fucking story, wouldn't it? Let me, while you're trying to do your show, let me put a guy around mocking you and jumping all over you.
Oh, when you're trying to do
loves
your show,
taunt
like he had
Gary.
anything to
Just-
do there.
As soon as Gary fucks up, they see him running through the halls in a big giant monkey outfit.
Picture, Sal was like the stockbroker who was a fan of the show who would bust Gary's balls, and he parlayed that into a job.
Sal fucking gets his ass kicked at home, and then somehow it manages to manifest itself in my fucking office. He gets in a fight with his wife. Next thing I know, there's a monkey running around my office.
Yeah.
What has he got?
He's gonna kill him.
That's a bitch.
He's way into that.
Thank goodness.
You know, okay. Okay, so two things. Why didn't he just shut the door?
Right.
Because
Why does he have to leave that open? That's exactly. I don't get that either.
Just
Is
shut
that for
the door.
I think it's for the camera people to come in there, Monique, to film.
Why did they even need
talking
to if he
Howard.
was like so aggravated and so annoyed? Just shut the goddamn door.
Tim
just
Sullivan. Tim Sullivan. Charlton Heston in the Planet of the Garys.
Gary, why can't you just shut your door?
All right, here we go.
Rape him, Gary.
Rape him, Gary.
Rape him.
Look at you. Shirley always has to be fucking front and center. Shuli always has to be
Jesus.
like right there.
Oh, he's
Jesus
coming up
Christ.
soon. He's coming up.
Oh.
Sunflower Dragon has a good point, Shuli, because Gary needs to be filmed at all point. He needs the potential of the camera. He needs to be on air. I agree with that.
They all do, honestly.
Yeah.
They really do.
He can't.
Ralph, you're on the air.
Not to pile on Gary, but when he goes on that mic, could he swallow his food? Because like he's always like in the middle of eating when
Well, that's because people have a fucking job.
when he gets on the microphone.
You fucking gay cocksucker.
See, gotta be angry.
He talks to you on that thing, and every time he's in the middle of eating.
I know.
He has two doors he could shut.
Yeah, there you shut him.
Fucking job. You should be down to nothing because you do nothing. You should work out all day.
No, I could get your weight down, Gary.
You could say the same.
Right,
Money?
Ralph does make a good point that the reason you're heavy is that literally you think you're hungry.
I'm sorry, did you want to say something?
No, I was Gary's insult to Ralph could be the exact same thing you could say to Beth. You do nothing all day and work out.
Well, you know, the thing
the
is the
same-
irony of
Yeah,
the
go
irony
ahead.
of Ralph saying you should swallow before you got on the microphone. You know, the irony there.
Well, the other irony is this is what, 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago, and it's the exact same
Yes.
story.
Yes, it is.
There's nothing has changed here
Hungry
at
every minute.
all.
You couldn't possibly be that hungry.
Plenty of time.
Is sitting around what to eat. And Robin, don't you talk about weight.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying Gary makes a point.
You don't get the fuck away from my Sal. Stay the fuck away from my office.
He keeps coming into my studio. Sneaking Halloween Christmas.
Jesus.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Hold on, I want to stay.
I
here.
made the clip, but I don't remember it.
Okay, I want to just go right here. I
Oh
look
my
at this
God.
shithole. Look at this shithole,
That's
please.
the call center.
Wow, that is that. Oh my God, Indians laugh at that. I mean, that's just horrid.
Cody,
This
can I
is
put
where-
the date on that? It's like 08. Oh, yeah, 08, right? 2008?
It just says this is one of his clips, and it just says 10 Sal versus Gary. I'm sorry.
Wow.
He renamed them, but yeah, look at this shithole. Look at this is where they
Jesus.
all work, all of them. These are all the people you know, you don't know. There's even like a girl in here. You know, this is just where we met. All of them. This is how they work, right next to each other like this.
Yep.
Christ.
All for the happy low price of under $100,000. And they're all in this little cubby hole. See, these are people you
There
don't
you
even
go.
know.
Good stop right there. Who is that?
None of
What
these
have we
people
got
you
over
know.
here?
I don't know.
Does anybody
No.
recognize anybody on
No.
that left?
Dude.
And I mean,
No.
we're ridiculous aficionados, savants with the show. I don't know who that is.
No.
That's
All
some of
three
the
of them.
70 writers that we don't know.
They love the
Out there.
backward
Producers,
fitted baseball hat.
directors, writers. Yeah, we don't know any of these
Good
people.
God, what is that?
I don't know. It's brutal.
3 nobodies. I mean, seriously, 3 nobodies.
Yeah. I'm sure they get pretty good credits too.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
You're talking
Cable Five.
smelly girl.
Going on out there.
So annoying. Okay, that's it. Sorry.
They could be interns, Sunflower Dragon. I don't think the interns would get that kind of. That's
They wouldn't
they're
be
way
seated
they're way
there.
entrenched. Yeah, they're way entrenched in that.
That's with the whole crew. That's where everybody's. Even Brent sat in there. They all did.
Yeah.
They didn't have offices.
And when
They
Brent
still
made
don't.
his reports, those reports he had.
The only people that had offices were Gary and Sal and Richard sat together, and JD sat in a closet. They made a closet into a office for
Office.
him. So
Next to
literally,
Howard's
with a
TM room.
chair and a half desk, and because he needed like quiet time so that he could cut his clips.
Go home.
Because
Go
all
home.
he did was watch TV all day, so he could cut clips for Howard.
Yes.
Pretty much his job. So yeah, so that was a fun clip. The rest of the balance of clips I have are audio clips.
Ooh.
The next one is a good one. It's fairly recent, not recent, but it's 5 years old. So this is Gary going off on Shuli, what an attention whore Shuli is, and they get into it. And Gary talks about how Shuli would harass him all day with schemes to get on the air. And we probably played this at some point during the Shuli show, but it certainly bears repeating because it kind of reveals what they all think is Shuli on the show.
Do we remember this from Ross Dogg's Broken Spirit? Where did Fafa relocate to once Marcy Turk stole his monkey cage office?
He shares the office
Did they
with.
share?
No, he shares it
With
with
Hein?
Marcy. He shares it with Marcy.
No, Jeremy Coleman does.
Right, Marcy and you know what? Why don't I know this?
Yeah, I don't know this either.
Jeremy Coleman and Marcy took Gary's office, and Gary
but-
got relocated into some basic fucking cubicle thing.
What time is it? 10:40. Let's ask Brent. He'll know.
Yeah, that's the perfect guy.
Okay,
Actually.
so I'm going to play a clip. I'm going to play Gary versus Shuli, and we'll see if we can find out the answer to this question whilst I have this clip going. Okay.
Nice, nice.
Gary, you throw story grenades in the office. Nobody's looking for them. You just toss them in there and walk
And
away.
you do too, Shuli. You just walk into the middle of the office and start doing your act.
It's not my act, Gary.
No,
You wouldn't
no,
know.
it's-
You've never seen my act.
I know.
I've actually done that Gotham show successfully.
What
The
I'm saying
opposite of
is you
you.
walk into the office, you start to tell your stories, hoping that somebody will go, "Oh, Shuli, that's great. You should do that on the air."
Not at all.
Oh,
Not
really?
at all. When I come to your office and talk to you, it's to contribute information to the show. And you're the gatekeeper. You're the toll booth guy. So it's your call to let me in. Them, I'm just having conversation with them. And I'm sorry if I'm naturally funny that you think it's my act.
You call yourself naturally funny. No one else is saying it.
I got booked on Access because I'm a stand-up comic. You got booked on Access because you work for Howard Stern. It's a big difference.
What's your point?
My point is, if you're not going to accuse me of not being funny. Did you hear the audio we played of you?
Shuli is still going around in the halls bitching about Gary. Oh, that Gary.
Shuli is an angry little man too, by the way. He's
Well, of
another
course
one.
he is.
He's
Wouldn't you be angry
incredibly
too?
angry. He's so resentful of anybody else's success on that show because he wasn't able to glom onto it and make himself,
He didn't go on this show to be a team player. He went on the show thinking he was going to be a superstar that was going to
Absolutely.
pass everybody by, and he's going to be in the Artie chair. This is
Oh my
not
God.
his
And he was
plan.
going to have a million plugs. It was going to be super successful. Everything he did would sell out. I mean, it was just, yes, he had incredible dreams of
Has
being-
he been playing barbecue places yet down there in Alabama?
I have no idea what he's been doing, actually. He's blocked me on all social media as
Oh,
well.
yeah, I got blocked too.
When they got to Sirius, remember all the shows he would just try to crowbar himself onto, from Jay Thomas to whoever wants him. He would run around Sirius just dropping into shows,
Yes.
trying to implement him, thinking that he would be. He was on that. I think he was at the Friday Jay Thomas show. He was a regular on, and Jay Thomas hated him.
Yep. Jay
Yes.
Thomas couldn't stand him.
Yep.
Honestly,
You think
couldn't
so? Is
stand
that the case?
No, yeah, he didn't really like him. He would.
So why was he on the show? Why
It
did
was
he-
Buckwald. He was a Buckwald
Buchwald.
client. Thomas was. So it
Jay
was
Thomas
Buchwald
Buchwald client. He
Synergy,
told me to have
and
him on.
he's
Yeah, but
on the
Shuli
Stern
wasn't, so who
channels.
gives a shit? Like,
Yeah,
why
but it
would
was
they
a
bitch about Shuli if you're what does Buchwald have to do with Shuli being on your show? Nothing. Shuli's not. Shuli
Thomas
means
is a
nothing.
Buckwald client, and they just
I
wanted
understand
they wanted it was on the Stern channels, and they wanted
was
Stern
crossover from
Synergy, thinking
Stern.
it would cross over.
Right.
It
Well,
was supposed to be
people,
just a little
seriously, I would
sidekick.
rather
Yeah.
have Sal as a sidekick. I mean,
I
honestly,
think Jay was just being nice. Sit in, Julia. I think he actually admitted that. Whatever, hang out. Try not to be too annoying. I think he actually said that
Brags
to him.
about all
He
his
had
little
nothing.
trips to California.
Right, he goes in
He
and
didn't
talks
reply
about
yet.
how busy his month is going to be because
Right.
he's got to go to Vegas.
I got a problem with you. You're
Go
an
ahead.
annoyance. You're a two-faced annoyance. You come to me more than every other person combined every morning, and I do my best to help you out, and it's never enough. You're a greedy fuck.
I'm a greedy. So Gary goes on wrap up yesterday and he goes, "Now, I'm not going to threaten anybody because I would never do that. But how dumb is it for him to attack somebody who's in charge of getting him in studio?"
Well, think about that, asshole. How dumb is it?
But you did threaten me. You're saying
Yeah,
you're
but
not
wait a
going to
second.
threaten me, and then
But
you
Gary,
threaten me.
that is kind of weird in the sense that Shuli is helping me if he's got something.
Howard, I don't.
And that's why I tolerate him.
I don't
because
come
he's a
to
help
him.
To you.
I come to him when you bring up something, and I think it can either help or coincide.
He comes into me, floats it.
Yes, 1000% Shellback's Club. Shuli is what you get when you only hire Howard
Yes.
sycophantic marks. This is 1000% everybody on staff. Everybody.
You got to remember too, Shuli's particularly annoying during this time period too, because he can't sit in on the wrap up show anymore because that's been marginalized.
Right.
There's no Jay Thomas show anymore, and there's no Howard 100 News, so he can't get his fucking air.
Right.
He's an air whore, and this is the only
Absolutely.
way. He's going to be extra. He's going to be 5 times more annoying in this.
This is
period.
before he figured out he could be a whack pack wrangler. and get on the air all the
Yes.
time.
Well, yes, that's
Forgot
how he
about
found
that.
his
Yes.
niche. That's exactly right. David
Yep.
says Gary's not wrong here, but he's Shuli without trying to be or thinking he's funny. He's just as backstabbing and Machiavellian. And you're right.
Ooh, Machiavellian.
No, 33.
Nice.
It's incredibly true. You're exactly right there.
Prince
All right, let me finish this.
Machiavelli over
Joe,
here.
to me, that's not my job to handle that stuff. And I told him that. Sometimes he just comes in and you'll start telling a story about taking a shit. So now I got to hear Shuli's story about taking a shit.
Which I ended up getting on the air and telling the story.
On the air, and it happens 20. He has no governor on him.
But he's trying to clear it through you.
Howard, there was a period of time, Shuli doesn't even know this, where we had to document how many times he came to me in the morning
that's so
because
funny.
it was all that was happening.
Well, what's funny is I heard from. Never mind. I don't want to bring it up.
Listen.
I don't want to get into weird shit.
Machiavelli too, Master.
You see how mad he gets? Why don't you call Jason a fucking cunt?
Because somehow he's nicer.
Because you're scared of Jason.
No, listen.
Yeah, he's been with Jason longer.
Here's what
Jason probably has
everybody
shit
told
on him.
It's known in this office that you complain about me behind my back a lot. You're a professional victim. You make problems for yourself. Howard, let's not forget. Shuli's been with us for 10 years, done a great job. We hired a whack packer. And so his drug
Everybody's a whack packer
his
to
drug
him.
is getting on the air. It's very difficult to discern when Shuli has something that's good for the show and when Shuli has something that's good for Shuli. Shuli wants to do things that are good for him, and a lot of times he buries that under the guise of being good for the show, and sometimes it is good for the show.
In other words, you got to think about Shuli all day.
Shuli's a constant every morning of the show.
I will sit back there quietly, Gary, and I
That never happened, by the
will
way.
not bother you.
You can bother me, but maybe you should stop and think and say, I go to Gary 20 times a morning. Maybe I should just save the really good stuff.
But how's he supposed to know what's good?
Yeah, and here's the question: Why
He
is
thinks
everybody?
it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. But he thinks 30 times a day. He thinks he should be on the show.
Well, that was a constant at the time. So Shuli would constantly go into Gary's office thinking that he had something, epic to say to Howard, and always begging for airtime. It was a total air whore. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
David says, remember Shuli on his first podcast episode said Howard sided with him in this fight, and that this is part of what made him start to want to leave.
The squeaky wheel thing doesn't necessarily work on this show. Because Howard's going after people like JD. You know what I mean? Like, he's not, you could be his desperate air whore. And Sunflower Dragon, he got carried away with himself during the block party shows as well.
Right.
So I think the real entertainment would be if Howard TV was still around and they filmed Shuli and Gary arguing behind the scenes about this. Hearing Shuli do his act to the other staffers, that would be phenomenal. Because Howard TV would have captured that.
The thought that Shuli actually said it was his decision to leave the show. That is absolutely the funniest thing. That's the funniest thing I've heard all night.
Of course he's going to do that, Dennis. Of course.
Damn.
It's my decision.
It just makes you chuckle when you think of these things, knowing fully well that that's not.
I'm not fired. I quit.
Exactly.
Holding
All
it
right.
with both hands.
So it is almost 11 o'clock. I have 3 more clips.
Oh,
and
thank God.
Let's see what it is that we want to really hear. So we have Gary versus Matt.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, I can't remember who it was, I apologize if I don't get the name, said, what about the nepotism with Gary's kids? This is exactly what that is. So Gary is shaking.
Hold on. So we have Gary versus Mamet, Gary
Yes.
versus Case and Joplin, books on tape, and then Gary versus Mr. Feeney.
Let's go with Mamet first, because this is Gary shaking the Mamet outs Gary that he shakes down guests to get his kids jobs in LA.
Oh, I love it. Okay, here we go.
This is about 3 or 4 years ago. Mamet was working here about 6 months and was lucky to be here for a variety of reasons, which he knows. Well, sometimes when people come in the morning that are guests on the show, they're big fans of the show. And sometimes they say, how are your kids doing? Sometimes they ask me that.
Yeah.
There was a big celebrity came in. He said, how's your kid doing? I said, he's doing great. He's working at this place. Mamet walked by. He's been working here 6 months now. I'm theoretically his boss. He thinks he hears something he didn't hear. And he goes and tells everybody, I was trying to get my son a job through this celebrity. It gets back to you. You're pissed.
Right.
I have to go and explain that is not what happened. This is a guy, we're all family. He'll throw you right under the bus.
Wow.
He has zero respect for anybody. There's no way to explain that, except I'm going to go and fuck
Mamet,
Gary
you
and make
remember
points.
this?
Yes, you should do, because we sat down and talked about it.
Well, I do remember that. Look, I don't remember going down that way. I remember literally everyone talking about what you said. In the
No. You were the one who walked by. You were the person who started the rumor.
No,
See, this is real life. Did
and
your
the
kid
answer-
get the job as a result of you pitching this celebrity?
My son was already working at a place.
I know. I'm busting balls. So, Mamet, you could have gotten
What are you trying to do? Get points for yourself by fucking me over?
Wait a second. That's just what people do around here. But I didn't even hear Gary say that to the person. Someone told me because the entire back office was
Nice
talking
callback
about it.
there,
You can
Tim
believe me or not.
I don't believe you because no one's ever come forward and said that. I don't believe you.
You know how people are around here.
Yeah,
So what happened? Mehmet told me, and then
it went from Mehmet to Jason. Jason mentioned, "Do you think it would be funny?" You got very upset.
Right.
Had a conversation. I had to explain myself. But this guy's fucking barely works here. What other job do you go in where you could just go fucking be a dick to your boss?
Yeah, it's a weird work environment because we're on air and everyone's always looking for air.
But this is really
you
him.
try to make sure of a story like that when
That's
you
right.
know how sensitive it is?
The way you were lucky to be here. You know why you were lucky to be here. And
Why was he lucky to be there? Do we know the story?
I'm not sure. We never got to the root of that. There's some thing he did and Gary saved him. Some shit went on. Maybe Brent knows. I bet you Brent knows.
Tim, Baby Jackson did not end up at Kimmel. He ended up.
He was an AP. He was
I thought he was an intern.
very, very briefly, and then he moved on to Netflix. I think he was employed there briefly and then moved on to Netflix. He was definitely an intern. Who do we suppose the celebrity is? I mean, is Kimmel too obvious a choice when he says really big star? It's a strange way to describe Kimmel. I almost thought it was Bradley Cooper because of the Obama thing. Like he was trying to get him in with a studio of some kind. Because remember Jackson said he wanted to be a film. He doesn't know what he just wants to be famous. He just wants to be in Hollywood.
Right.
He doesn't have any skills. He doesn't have any talent. He just wants to be in the Hollywood scene or whatever.
So he's just like his dad.
Right, exactly right.
He's like his dad.
Exactly. All right, let me finish this.
then you're going to sit and try to fuck me over? What's wrong with you?
That is not what happened.
That's exactly
Gary.
what
It
happened.
isn't what happened.
So
What happened?
where's the parade of people coming to your defense?
Who told you that Gary was doing this?
I honestly don't remember, but what I do remember clear as day is it was the talk of the office that morning.
Because you started it.
No, it was not.
Yes, it is.
I wasn't the one who heard it, Gary. I swear on my life. I began
You
talking
don't
about it
remember
because
who
I was
told you,
interested
but
in it. It was a nothing event. I mean, this is years ago. I can't believe he's held on to it.
When I sat down with him, I said, you really could have fucked me over. He said, I wasn't the one who did it. I went and asked everybody, and
So I told the truth back then, too.
I love when Mehmet would fight with him, because Mehmet is so much smarter than he is.
He was an irritant. Mehmet was an absolute imp irritant. He was a left turn, kind of a nonconformist. And I don't think he likes the show on any level. He just works on it. I think he must.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't imagine he actually.
He
likes
just
the
recently got married as well, so good for him.
What do you
Happy
think
it's
what
married
Tiger
today.
Lily said up there, Monique? He says, if you don't try to get your son a job, you're a shit parent in any way. I somewhat agree. Tiger Lily is a great mom. She is a great mom. She loves those kids, and you do anything. Do you agree with that? You're doing anything in your power to get your kids in advance.
If I know people, I 1000% would. I'm not no lie. If I was in Gary's position and knew as many people as he does throughout this entire industry,
I'm sure I would too.
But
I would.
But there's a tactful way to do it, and then this way Gary does it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Very stupid. So yeah,
Gary's a retard.
An email or anything, he could get his kid a job anywhere. Honestly,
Right.
I mean, it doesn't take
You
much.
don't need to harass them.
to be Gary. Exactly. So the fact that he harassed them, I'm sure, took them by surprise. All right, I have 2 more clips left, and we are done. So Gary versus Casey Joplin, books on tape. What is this?
This is Jason high on Lexapro and in the height of his Lexapro, the throes of Lexapro, and he really basically calls Gary a dunderheaded idiot for not being able to read. All he does is listen to books on tape.
Okay.
One of the best books I've ever read.
Really?
It's really good. It's a true
Baba
story.
Booey.
And then the
Baba
guy
Booey.
goes on.
Always bragging that you read books.
No, you would love this book.
Yeah,
Did you read it or listen to it?
I listened to it. My son's reading it now. I made Jackson read it.
Good for you.
But I don't know if the movie's good. The movie looks a little.
Syracuse.
Make the kids read.
$80,000 a year.
It's a motivational book.
Gary thinks listening is reading.
I heard the book.
All right.
I got the same thing out of it that you got.
Right.
Oh, in fact, I got more. You don't even read.
I don't read any damn book.
Who's getting more? You listening to a book or him reading comic books?
Oh, you for sure. I agree.
So who's arguing?
Oh, you said I don't.
You're so fucking retarded. I'm not putting you down.
You aren't?
No, I said stop bragging about reading so many books. I didn't say I
Why is
get
that a
more out
big
of reading
deal?
a comic book. The fuck's wrong with you? Get out of here.
Get back to the office. Jason says, "Listen, you got to stop saying that you read a book. You start to sound like an idiot." And I go, "Who the fuck are you?" I go, says you. I goes, "I'm telling you, this is how it is." And I was like, wow. Like if I walked in there and said, Howard, I listened to this book on audio. It's just awkward.
Right.
So
if Howard says, "Did you read it or listen to it?" I'll say, "I listened to it." And then it becomes that stupid argument again. But I don't know how else you would bring it up. I guess I could say I listened to it, but then that sounds stupid.
He does not sound bright when he goes on the air and says that he read something that he clearly didn't read, and then tries to justify it by saying it's the same thing.
Right. That's
It's kind of not the same thing. I will agree with that. Okay.
I agree too.
So listening to a book is like listening to a long format podcast where you kind of fall asleep or whatever. It's like when you read a book, you actually are interested in it. And it's okay if you read it on like, an iPad or on a Kindle or something like that. But
the difference between listening to something and reading something is that when you read it, your mind is actually processing the words and making the visual in your head. When you're listening to it, it's just a story being told to you. It's totally different.
I mean,
And it's at your own pace. And the
that's
pacing
how I
too.
learn my words. I mean, sometimes I hear a word and I'll highlight it and I'll get a definition on it and I'll think to myself, you know what? That's an amazing fucking word. I'm going to use that one day. So yes, Dennis is on his third. I think Dennis consumed an entire bottle of wine during this show.
Actually, yes, I did.
When I read Matt Montel Williams' Mountain Get Out of My Way, I felt cheated if I would have listened to it on tape. Remember Montel Williams in a book? This Mountain Get Out of My Way. It just hit me. I forgot about it. Stedman Graham, you can make it happen.
All right, I'm going to move on because I want to hear Arm's phony phone call, and I
Okay.
want to hear what this bonfire mentions the Pelican Brief thing is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay,
That's the
so
second time the bonfires come through.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap the show up with two more clips, and then we're done. I promise you guys can go to sleep. Here we go.
Oh, thank God.
I'm going back to just speaking Chinese. Ting tong, ting tong tong, ting. Oh, I hate when you speak Chinese. I can't even understand you. You know what I'm saying? Ting tong tong tong, ting
Ching
tong
tong.
tong. What's that mean? I hate Les Moonves.
Horrible.
Beanie in Nevada, you're on the Howard Stern wrap-up show.
I'm trying to understand how to qualify Sal's obsession with Howard, but what I can't qualify with myself is calling Sal racist when Howard's the one saying ching chong in regards to Parasite and Julie Chen. How on earth can you qualify that hypocrisy to me?
I don't know what to say. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if I'm waiting for the punchline because the guy sounds like it's fake. Is that Beanie? Is that really your voice?
Feeny.
It's Feeny. What I'd like from you is an answer. How do you
Is it Feeny?
In this age of Asian defamation, how do you possibly qualify Ching Chong in regards to Parasite and Julie Chen in this landscape where you go, George Takei, how pro-Asian you are?
There's no way you're for real, Feeny. There's no way you're for real. It's interesting to talk to you, but if you want an answer to that, you should call Howard tomorrow and ask him. I think he'd love to talk to you. I'd love for you to talk to him. I will tell you, when I was a kid, like 7 or 8 years old, and we would go to visit my relatives in Brooklyn, who were very nice people, but not necessarily the most progressive people, they would say, if they wanted to order Chinese food, my aunt used to go, "Who wants to order Chinks tonight?"
Everybody did that.
I'm telling you.
I mean, and
it was
This is 2020. This is how we defend Howard.
Racist now.
By the way, I have to tell you that voice is so special and so delicious. I am shocked actually that you didn't call in to Howard the next day and do that exact same.
Oh, I tried. I couldn't get through.
Oh,
They hung up on me.
it's quite delicious. It is quite
it's
delicious.
not that easy.
I love everything about that voice. It's so curious and weird, and he would love that. Like, you could really hit on some sort of bizarre zeitgeist with that. I love it. I love it. All right, so we are finally wrapping up, and it's something about Bonfire and the Pelican Brief. So tell me what this is, please.
I'm curious how you can be 68 years of age and not mention your granddaughter once on the air. Please qualify that to me, Mr. Stern. That kind of thing. Don't even say hello. Just go right into that. Mention his granddaughter. Right into it. Don't even say hello.
I love it. I love it. I think if only you could be awake at that hour.
I know. That's the problem.
That'd be dumb faster than 3-day-old Chinese.
I know. With the 90-second
delay, the whole thing.
No, 90-second delay, Monique. It's not even
that's
7.
right. That's right.
It's almost 2 minutes long.
All right. So what does this Pelican Brief mention?
Okay, so thank you, Tiger Lily, for pointing in the wino thread. She said on the fucking On Sirius's air, the bonfire with Dan Soder and Jay Okerson mentioned Howard has a rule that you can't play a single phrase from his show, not just clip. There is a mandate the partner has now on Sirius where you can't play a clip from his show. So they had to do the whoop whoop thing, and they can't play it, they can't say it, they can't play. And then they mentioned Howard, you can't talk to him in the hallways. And then they mentioned the fucking Pelican Brief, which I've never heard on Sirius's air, which is crazy shit. And I could almost see them getting fired for it.
You know, I'm just gonna
I've heard the
say-
Pelican Brief mentioned on Rogan. I've heard it mentioned on your buddy Carl
Yeah.
Shuley brought it, but never have I heard it on Sirius's air. So this is the first time the Pelican Brief has been mentioned on the air.
Well, Opie's mentioned it. Kumia's mentioned it.
Not on Sirius though.
Not on Sirius,
Yeah,
right? Well,
on their
because
other
most of
They
them
were
were gone
gone
by
by
that
then.
point,
Yep.
I think. You know, one day, not today, not a day in the very near future, but one day we will come on air and we will really talk about the Pelican Brief as it needs to be spoken of, and all the little tidbits of information that I know about it and everything. Just not today. All right, here we go.
Mood. This is Faction Talk Sirius XM 103. I'm Big Jokerson. That's Dan Soder. Our crew is all in the same fucking room. It makes me so happy.
Family.
Woo, woo.
Spraying Fago like we want to pen it.
Howard Stern Show has the best woot woot fucking
well, we're not allowed to use it.
I know. When he would do it though behind it, because they'd be like, woot woot. He goes, hoot, hoot.
I'm starting to come around about Howard and think it's possibly the coolest thing of all time that he came to Sirius Radio and he was like, no one talk to me. You know how fucking badass that is to show up at a job and just tell all your coworkers, like, don't even fucking look at me. All right, I'm going to the break room. I don't want to hear it. Steve Harvey got in trouble for that.
Somebody fucking put out one of their private meetings on like social media or like YouTube.
This is so great.
It's pretty fucking wild. Did you see that?
I believe I have. That was a few years ago, right?
Everyone here
it was recent.
No?
You got to
Then I
realize.
haven't. Then I haven't.
I love our crew, but they're also, you got to remember where they work.
Oh, you know what? It may be video.
There's a thin blue line at Sirius XM. There's a
DJ Lou, you think Howard's doing some nefarious things?
You are subcontractors. We come in here and just say shit. And they're like,
Yeah, did you hear that, Monique?
We're subcontractors.
Yeah, they're not actually employed by Sirius, so they might be doing it for free.
For how much I worship that he made me removed from Sirius XM.
he
I'm
becomes
like,
your
no.
enemy.
I'm like, no.
In the story of Big J. Okerson, Howard becoming your ultimate enemy.
No.
Sensei versus teacher, dude.
Yeah, I can't help but
Sensei
do.
versus
I
student.
can't help but do Howard Stern things while he's mad at me.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "You're a piece of shit." Oh my.
Hey now.
Hello, boner. Hey, boner.
Musculature.
Musculature.
Musculature. Yeah.
Yeah, they got some weird.
But I'm
footage
starting
of it. It might have been from a few years ago. The actual meeting might have been from a few years ago, but it was like a weird pep talk to the crew in some room. Yeah, it was
Pep
awesome.
talk.
Mad. Yes.
No, it wasn't a mad thing. It was just telling them like to spread the word of the show, basically. And he was like, make fake accounts and talk about the show. Oh no, it was saying how to get guests. That's what it was.
Yes.
That was the
Smart
key
idea.
thing of that whole
He was like, make
Pelican.
fake accounts, keep hitting up the guests and saying like you should do the Howard Stern show. Why don't you do the Howard? That's how he gets like the big guests.
So celebrities are just like us when someone tells them to do something and they're like, I should probably do that.
yeah. It's a great idea.
Because they always try to act like they're like, nah, I don't even read it, but they're like, I don't know.
Let's pick
That's good enough, Monique.
person right now. As a dream person that makes sense.
So yeah, okay. I heard what you heard as well, and I picked up on it. We're just subcontractors.
Yes.
Yep.
He
So
slipped
let's
that
start
in
with that
there.
for a quick second. So yeah, I mean, is it the case where they are pay for play? Is it that they
I think they're
generate-
promoting stand-up gigs and stuff. like
As
that.
David says, they're 1099s. They're not W2s. They're
freelance?
1099s.
No, I get it, and it's
Yeah.
probably in a lot of ways. Interesting. So it's probably in a lot of ways now, kind of like when Tim came to me, remember, and he wanted us to do like a who was he working for at that point?
Oh God, yeah, no. Shit, no,
Westwood
I know
One?
exactly. Shit.
Westwood One?
Yeah, Westwood One. That's exactly right. Westwood
Westwood
One.
One.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like this same thing. We'd have to produce a show. You had to do it a minimum of 4 days a week. It had to be a minimum of 2.5 hours. And then they would provide you with the advertisers and the commercials, and you would get a percentage of what they made from somebody doing a commercial on your show.
They were almost fired, Monique. They went out with Jenny McCarthy and Jason Ellis and those people, and they brought them back because I think they became subcontractors. They said, okay, well, we'll do it this way. I think that was the only reason.
Well, look at what Bobby Govanelli is saying. I'm sure most of those shows get nothing.
Yep.
They said they sell their own ads.
Sell their own
But do you
ads.
think
That's the only way they make
actually
money.
on Sirius, like, because a lot of times you hear the same like Cars for Kids throughout the entirety of the spectrum of things. I mean, you can't get it off fast enough, but there it is on MSNBC, whilst MSNBC is playing its own commercials, or
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes,
So it's
yes, I
kind of
know
all
exactly
over
what
the
you
place. So they must have some sort of ad pool that
Yeah.
they have a
Well-
demographic for that it pulls into.
The Stern Show has a bunch of those. So yeah, they'll
Yes.
just add their ad pools for Sirius and ending up on there too.
Yeah,
'Cause that's
Barbara
half his
DeRush
ads.
is right. Woot is. It's not even Howard. It's Insane Clown Posse's
Insane
thing,
yeah,
and Howard's
exactly.
taking ownership of Insane Clown Posse's catchphrase.
Yes, and you know what? I would dare them to do woot woot.
Yeah, and see what
go off
happens.
that. It's like,
Yep.
who would even care unless there's some stupid fucking hall monitor
They're-
listening to all the
they're
shows
that
on
petty.
Sirius, waiting to hear something that Howard takes claim to, but meanwhile it's not even his.
Yep. He does. Well, it's like Fartman, Monique, right? That's his. We
Yeah.
did on the Deppening the other day. We showed him on National Lampoon is the author of Fartman. That's not his. So he pretended he was going to make the movie, but it's not his to make a movie of.
Or the
It's-
Hey
it's
Now.
Or Hey
Or-
Now. It's from Larry
Hey Now.
Sanders, right?
That was
Yeah,
Howard
show,
took
wasn't
ownership.
Yeah, Bobby Govanelli still owes us a podcast.
Casey, did you do the bonfire? I swear I remember hearing that Casey had done that show at some point. They love him. I know that.
Is he allowed into Sirius?
I don't know if it was a call-in or that's another great question. Are you allowed at Sirius, Casey?
Sirius is more of a prestige to have a celeb show on.
Oh.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see
Yes.
that. Well, maybe one day you'll come back on with us and we'll talk about it when you're not sitting in a, Motel 6 with your eye askew.
The Sable
going
Motor
to,
Lodge.
doing an OBO with us.
OBO?
or best offer. Yeah. He's like, I gotta go. Got things to do. Gotta go see people, do some stuff. And then all of a sudden, poof, gone. Poof. Poof, gone. Aaron Taylor says, Sirius was ahead of the game. Look at the big streamers that don't have to be transparent. Their stars don't know their own value. Howard
Yes,
doesn't
Aaron.
know how many people listen to him, but can claim paid subs.
No, he knows. He just won't say because it's
Yeah, he knows,
embarrassing.
he
He knows all the numbers. He just
He
won't
doesn't
say.
care because his paycheck has
He
less
doesn't
than
have to
yours.
care.
He-
Exactly right.
it never matters to him anymore. All right,
Doesn't
let's
matter
see.
anymore.
Okay, I heard back about these seating arrangements. Shall we do that to finish off our,
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
please. Yes, please.
Gary shared an office with the office manager. Marcy had her own office, still does, and it's one of the best offices in the entire building. It's right next to Howard's office and the back door to the compound. Gary had the same spot since we created the channels, the same desk since January of 06. When I left, Gary and Hines shared that office. Now I've heard that John was moved to the 37th floor.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
There you go. That's
And
all the
on the
deets.
third-
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you,
all
Brent.
the deets you needed to know about the what's going on there. Curious. Let me just relook at that just for a really quick second.
Oh, you got it up?
So I
Gary
have a
shared
question.
what?
So I
What
have a
go-
question. So when he eventually comes back, I don't know if it's this week or next week. Really don't care.
I don't
I'm not
blame
looking
you.
forward to
Dennis.
it. Do you think there's going to
Please
be a
go
little
away.
smaller staff? Do you think there's going to be some people missing?
Something's gonna happen. There's no way they're
Yeah.
coming back fully formed. There's something's gonna happen. They streamlined some bullshit. There's no way they're coming back fully formed. Whatever that even means on that show. There's no
But-
way.
I just have a curious question. Who had that Marcy office before she was hired?
It was Gary's. It was Gary's office.
No.
It was
The
renovated
best
and like
offices in the entire building is not Gary's office. Brent's saying that her office is right next to Howard's, and it's one of the best offices in the building. So no, that's definitely not where. And
It was
Gary
inside his
shares-
compound. So what? I mean, what
Mhm.
office could it have been?
We don't know.
The Stern Show's made me hate the word compound now. I can't even say it.
Yeah,
Make me
no
hate
kidding.
everything.
It's a compound that no one's in there.
I know.
It's an empty compound.
Jeff Schick had that office.
Jeff Schick.
All right, we're gonna wrap
Nice.
up now. We are done. It is
Oh.
11:15 or so on a school
Oh,
night.
Jesus.
11:19 on a school night. So that's it for tonight. We don't know if he'll be back on Tuesday, but we
hope
will.
not.
Oh, no.
When we know, you'll know, and I'm
I
sure
hate-
Marianne from Brooklyn that will know
Oh,
first.
please.
So
Oh,
we'll just wait
Oh.
and see what's going to be going on.
I hate man. Deppening tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Deppening tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. What's the topic?
Doug Stanhope.
Ah,
Doug Stanhope.
Writing a piece, anti-Amber Heard piece, back in 2017, and he
Holy
has now
shit.
backed it up again. And
Wow.
I'm going to narrate it as Mr. Feeney, I think,
Oh,
and
I
read
love
the whole
it.
thing.
All right, fabulous. So good the show is doing well.
Oh,
It looks like it's getting lots of views. I'm happy with that.
Well, it's the sister. It's the spinoff. It's the Radio Gunk.
It's great.
uh,
I just love that you're getting lots of views. I think it's awesome. I'm
We're
really
now
I'm
on
happy for this.
Spotify and
Damn.
iHeartRadio and iTunes and Podbean and all that shit. People have been asking us we're too lazy to do it. I had to convert
Oh,
it to MP3.
Melvin.
What
The
did
amount
Melvin
of
say? I
work
hate men.
that it takes to do that shit is just mind-boggling for
We'd
me.
love for you to sit in on a Thursday.
Okay,
Howard,
let's sit in.
Step for Stern Thursday.
So
I don't want to
so
hold you to
Melvin-
it.
Well, you never text me and let me know these
Give
things.
me your fucking avails. I want you to give your like
The
David went to
only
finishing
time
school.
I know you're
David,
doing a show is when you tag me in on Twitter. It's like
David
you
is,
don't even post on Gunk anymore. So
David went to finishing school with Beth. He gives me like his availability.
All right, guys, we're gonna leave you. Have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you,
Thanks for
chat. Great job. I
participating.
love you all.
And don't forget to listen to the Deppening tomorrow night.
Life
All right.
isn't for everyone. Doug Stanhope.
Indeed. All right. See you soon. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.